What's going on? What's going on? We are live. We are live. How's everybody doing? I brought up the wrong scene. I still brought up the wrong scene. Let me click it again. There he is, the man of the hour, Codation.
Good.
Yo, let me adjust Codation stuff just a little bit here because I had adjusted it for, it's his fault. I had adjusted everything.
I'm cut out just a little bit.
See if I can get him back to...
Dude, your video, like your video still looks 10 times better than mine, and I wonder if that's from Zoom. Like, I wonder if that's Zoom cutting me in. Like,
well, that's what I said. I'm sure it has to be. Oh, this should be set up. Okay,
what do you got?
Huh? Nothing. I was just trying to fix your ish. Trying to adjust it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, some of it's probably definitely Zoom, I would say. It just is what it is. I don't know. That's the best I can get you, man. All right, we got lots of people in the chat. Yearly Man says, what are we talking about? This stream is a little bit of a special stream. Normally each stream we talk about what the fuck ever kind of comes up in chat or whatever kind of topics we start running with and go from there. This stream, however, and the next stream, we're doing Ask Me Anything streams. So the way it's working is today it'll be Codation asking me questions. Also, anybody in the chat is welcome to chime in and ask questions, and I'll leave it to Codations to kind of pick the ones he likes, since he's kind of doing the interview of me per se. I don't know the other word to use. To pick whatever. Hokage says, can we lose the music? Oh yeah, we normally lose the music as we get going. I kind of leave it here. Sorry. I had it turned down in my headset, so I forgot it was on, to be completely honest. But anyways, so this stream and the next stream, we're doing an Ask Me Anything. So Codation will be asking me questions. This one, and then the next stream, I will be asking Codation's questions. And then we'll see how it goes. But we're just trying some different stuff, trying some new stuff, trying to keep the podcast interesting. Things like that. This was a suggestion by Codations. I thought it sounded fun, so we're rolling with it. All right, Hokage says whatever people asked on Twitter. We didn't get a lot of questions outside, so again, if you guys have any while we're going, or if any that Codations asked triggers something in your brain that you want to ask, feel free to type it in the chat, because like I said, then Codations can pull those out or whatnot.
Of course.
And then let me see what else in the chat before we actually jump into it. Pickle Rick says hello, I'm back. Yo, welcome back, Pickle Rick, dude. Fun playing. Hokage says you the guy from Phasmophobia. Yes, he was one of the randos from Phasmophobia that joined in my matches on the community stream on Saturday. Good to see you again, Pickle Rick. We're not gaming tonight. We do a podcast every Sunday night. For those that may not know, I do know that these community streams have been bringing in some new people, which is awesome. But on Sunday nights, we do podcasts. So no gaming Sunday nights, just FYI. Princess says, hey, guys. Hey, Princess. How are you doing, my dear? How are you doing? Then we got Hokage says, oh, here it is. Okay, thanks to the music. And that's it. All right. Codations, how you doing today, man?
Doing well, my friend. Doing well. This weekend, we got drywall taped in mud on the first coat. So I've got 2 more coats to do, and then we'll be ready to go for some texture and then paint and finish up that basement. So super pumped up and excited about that, of course.
Which I know you said you're using, didn't you say you're using part of it as a, like for your recording and stuff? Or are you just finishing it to finish it? I forget why you were finishing it.
Well, this is actually finishing a room that's down there. So this room was already finished, like, I don't even know, back in the 60s. It had like old, like plaid checkered, like carpet and paneling on the wall and everything. So we basically went down, gutted it all out, and then the wife wanted to refinish it with, updated drywall, carpet, that sort of thing. To put, all of our son's toys and stuff down there, because our whole upstairs is nothing but hardwood floors.
Okay.
So, and he's at the age now where, well, he's been at the age, but he's at the age now where he's rolling around, on the floor, trying to learn to crawl and everything. And the hardwood floor is not ideal. So we've been using I don't even know what it is, like a 12 by 15, area rug, you know what I mean? Pretty much, like in the area where the two couches are, the love seat and the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much where we've been keeping him, but he's confined to that, to that little bit of a rug. So our plan is to get that finished as soon as possible, so then we can move all of his toys down there, bring him down there, you know what I mean? And he, pretty much just, we'll all play down there in that room. It's big enough. I don't even know how big. I want to say like 30 foot, long by, I don't know, I'm going to say 21 foot wide. It's a pretty big area. And then, so part of it we've sectioned off, and I've got, TV, I'm going to put a big TV mounted on the wall, and then have a couch and love seat down there as well. We've already got the couch and love seat and the TV and stuff. It's just, need to get all the other stuff finished before we can actually furnish it. But yeah, I mean, that's the original plan, but no, I mean, and then the other plan is, which the wife's already approved as well. And that's going to be building that little type of studio thing where I just want to build like a, I don't know, like a four, not a four, geez Louise, that'd be too small. Like an 8x10. I mean, like little piece. And I'm just going to go super cheap, like frame it up with 2x4s, put some plywood or drywall, drywall on one, I got some sheets of drywall and plywood. So just cover, the walls on the inside, foam it, put a bunch of foam everywhere, and then put my little desk in there with my computer and stuff. And that's what I would love to do, because then that would just be a way better space, as far as like sound wise, quality wise, lights, I can put some shelving behind me so I can put all my little knickknacks, follow in line with suit with every other streamer and YouTuber out there.
Makes sense. That'd be nice then. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah. I remembered you mentioned something about making a stream room, but I couldn't remember exactly why you were redoing your basement. So
yep. I don't know what do you got going on with my hat here. Is that just because of the settings you got blowing out my looking see-through and all that jazz? I'm a ghost. Yeah,
tonight. Definitely could be, because I was trying to adjust things to get you. Does that fix it? Let me see here.
You got to remember too, though, I also have, I also have the settings. I haven't adjusted anything on Zoom, so maybe the settings on Zoom also are making me, you know what I mean, like soft or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I will
remember the advanced settings here. We've got optimize video quality for denoise. I don't know if we want that on or not.
I don't know, to be honest, dude. I think.
And then we've got HD on.
I think I got it fixed a little bit.
Okay.
I turned down some of the settings a little bit. It looks all right to me now, I think. I mean,
turn down for what?
As well as it can look for. I think the only way, like I think I mentioned it to you, but I think the only way we can really at this point improve your video quality any further would be if you actually created a separate, like a hidden channel on Twitch that basically had no followers or anything, that you could stream your video in high def too, and I could pull it from there and put it onto the live stream. Because I just think Zoom, Skype, any of those are just going to compress your shit quite a bit, just because of the amount of people that they're trying to host and stuff. They're not really, most people aren't caring about having a high quality HD, when they're using webcams on their computers to have Zoom meetings.
Right. Makes sense.
Hokage says, hey, your hat ain't see-through anymore. We fixed it a little bit.
Dude, and then once we start making, millions on this podcast, of course, then we'll have to upgrade some of the equipment, invest back into the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You said.
I mean, even another option, which it wouldn't really fix this, but it could fix the YouTube video after, would be if you in OBS recorded while you were also, like recorded a file and then sent. But again, I don't know. Seems like pretty complicated for something that's technically an audio first thing.
Right. Yep.
Typically.
Which makes sense.
And definitely where we get most of the viewers from, which is the audio side of it after we actually do this.
Yep. No.
So, totally but again, I'm always down to improve it. I just don't know what to do further outside of, like I said, you would have to actually stream the video somewhere where we're
which I could
easily,
I was going to say, which I could easily do that. Just stream it. Like you said, like make a Twitch account that has nothing, nothing on there, then go live, HD, full HD. And then you pull it from there. That probably would be the best option, I feel.
Probably. Yeah. But just like everything, we gotta work towards that. We're busy men.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Don't even get me started on how busy everything is. By the way, hey, Princess, I forgot to shout out to you.
Yes. Welcome again. Always
So
good
what
to
do we?
have you in the chat. Your painting is looking amazing, by the way, Princess. I'm
Oh yeah,
always shocked by the skill increase that you just put out every single time you start a new painting. It's amazing, seriously.
she's really good, super good.
One day she'll be rich enough that she can support both of us. She'll be our sugar mama.
Oh yeah, let's
She'll be
do it.
subscribed to us. She'll be done.
Oh
Hopefully,
yeah,
she'll be making
oh yeah,
millions. Maybe share that wealth.
oh yeah, for sure she will. You know she will. You know she
I
will.
know. I'm
She'll
just kidding though.
easily. She'll
Never
easily
actually
do it.
expected for her to be a sugar mama if she makes it. I'm just more teasing. But nonetheless, I really think someday she's gonna be making hella
I
money
wasn't
off
joking. I was being for real.
of
I was hoping she could support me with her resin ventures.
her.
That's what I was hoping.
So I don't really know. I got to be honest, man. I'm a little nervous. I know you're like not asking no crazy questions or anything. I'm sure, but I don't think
I'm
I've
not sure
ever
what you mean by
been
that.
really like interviewed or not. I don't even know to call it, but I've never really sat down and had someone just asking me questions. It's normally me doing that to other people. So I'm a little nervous to be honest, and I don't really know exactly how to start this. I don't know if you just want to kind of take it and start going, and again,
Of
you can
course,
pull
dude.
other questions from the chat. But I'm used to normally trying to guide or lead these things, but I think I'm just gonna hand it off to you and you kind of do your thing, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. So here's the thing. So right away, let's get some disclaimers out there right away. If there, so I'll just say it like this. We could play it either direction. So here's why I thought that this would be really, really cool. One, just because, I mean, in my opinion, right? Like we talk all the time. We've talked in your live streams, we've played games together and talked live, we've talked, across the board. And what I really think would be sweet and why I came up with this idea is because to let the audience, right? Like the people, maybe they've never tuned into us video, right? Like the only thing they've ever listened to us on is the podcast, these episodes, so I figured it'd be cool to have just an episode for you, an episode for me, and we pretty much just dive into anything and everything. Now I'm gonna throw this out to you, and you got to let me know what you think on this. Is there directions and questions that you don't want to go down? And if that is the case, then all you can just let me know is pass, right? And then we just won't answer them or don't do anything with them. On a side note, for mine, I'll just tell you mine heads up. There's nothing that I would not want to answer on stream or the world to know about me. And I'm not worried about any questions. So I guess I just want to make that very clear. So if somebody happens to pop up, I'm going to use this as a funny example, but it could be a question. And that question would be, like, your favorite sex position. Would that be something that you would want to actually answer, or is that something we want to pass on? That's my question, because that's going to kind of direct which direction we go with our questions.
I like how that's the question or kind of the question you start with this, if I'm being completely honest. It is. No, I know that's not the question, but I'm saying the question of the question is like just that's Codations in a nutshell right there. I feel like like the guy that you from the start talking about alien titties in my stream and stuff, I would expect no less. No, I don't. I'm same. I'm pretty open book. I kind of made that decision when I kind of started putting my life on the internet. I mean, obviously, just like everybody, you said there's nothing off the books for you. I will say it this way: there's probably nothing off the books for me that you could ask me, that you would think to ask me. So like things like that, like getting shy or nothing like that. I mean, if things got deep into like depression talk and stuff, there might be questions I pass. I don't know. But overall, it would just be like, I'd probably just give more of a generic answer and then kind of move on than even really.
Well,
I wouldn't care or anything like that.
Well, I'm super positive. So like I'm like my questions, at least coming from me. Now the community's questions might be different, but for me, for me, yeah, my questions are gonna be pretty on a positive note, I guess is the best way to explain that. Like I'm not going to ask you any questions besides just mine, to be honest with you, mine is just information like that. Mine is like, things, like past stuff, like hobbies, you know what I mean? Things like that. But
Sure.
to me, it's interesting things. That I feel like some of our listeners out there, that are checking in or have ever tuned into the podcast, or maybe even people who are on your channel specifically, for your gaming stuff, don't know about you. You know what I mean? And that's where I think that would be cool, to kind of just relate back to the community a little bit,
Yeah, makes sense 100%.
So,
I'm down. Real quick before you jump into your first one then, though, Johnny, the gamer, says hello. Hey, Johnny, welcome to the podcast, brother. We are doing an AMA, as I'm sure you've heard Codations talking about today. So if you think of any questions while Codations is going, feel free to add any.
Yep, feel free. And it goes for anybody, by the way, anybody that's listening here or YouTube. Now, D, you'll have to interrupt me and interject because I don't have YouTube pulled up, so I can only see Twitch chat currently. But but if anybody has any other questions that they want to throw in, feel free to drop them in there. We'll be sure to feature yours first before we get to the ones on my list as the next one up, just so we make sure we try to cover everybody. If you guys have anything that you want to specifically know. So, and as always, D, like we just said, if you want to pass, you pass. Sound good? There's no hard feelings, no judgment, nothing. So, all right. So the first one I have is going to be pretty straightforward, but I said we start at the beginning, right? So let's say where are you originally from? So I think currently, if I'm not mistaken, you're in Ohio right now, right? Like that's your state?
Yep.
Okay. So where are you originally from? Or is that where you're originally from? And then give us a little bit of kind of like, you don't have to go super in depth on, exact location. I don't want your damn address, but you know what I'm saying? I at least want to know like
1862 North End. No, that's not my address. Nobody go there. That's not my address.
Tomorrow on the news, somebody just got shot and killed at that location. They're gonna be coming knocking on your door.
Yes, I do currently reside in Ohio. I have always resided in Ohio. I grew up and was born in a city called Ashtabula, which is like the heroin capital of the United States.
Oh,
yeah.
So were you a heroin baby? Were you a heroin baby?
I was not at all. It's
so your exception. Got it.
Right. My parents were very religious and not into drugs. So as soon as they were able, they got us out of there, and we moved about an hour south of Ashtabula, where we currently live, which is around I'll say in between Cleveland and Youngstown, Ohio, in a smaller city.
Cleveland and Youngstown. Gotcha. Very interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Very cool. So but I've always been in Ohio, have always grown up in Ohio, and it's a
cool. So
state.
then
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Okay. So that leads me to the next question. And this is, I'm pretty much just flying by the seat of my pants here. I do have a handful of questions. I think I've got about 15 questions or so. So we'll cover them up as we go, and then I'll just ask as I think on top of my head. But so the next one's going to be, all right. So you've always been in Ohio, but if anybody that has followed your stream or at least this podcast knows you love to travel. So that leads me to the next thing. Where is your favorite place that you have already traveled? Not that you want to travel, but where you have already traveled. Where would be, if you were able to pack your shit up right now, you know what I mean, and go there immediately, where would that location be?
Probably Key West, Florida. All the way down.
Key West, Florida.
All the way down. Yeah. I am a beach bum for sure. In another life, I would be in the movies where you see the guy in the cargo like the shorts, the button-up shirt that's buttoned like halfway down to here. The short sleeves, laying around on the beach, like working on a boat or something, trying to like just make ends meet, like just kind of living that vagabond life. In another lifetime, that would 100% be me. Just this dark-skinned, sandal-wearing, dope-smoking guy hanging out by the beach all the time.
Just literally looking for whatever amount of money you can to just make your ends meet for the next week, and then you just rinse and repeat, just enjoying life to the fullest.
100%.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool.
Alex in the chat says, outside of the USA, where would you go? All right. Question. It is a good question. There's I don't know. Let me start off by saying this, Alex. I've yet to have the opportunity to travel outside of the United States, besides just our neighboring countries, Canada and Mexico. I have gone across the border and not very far into either, just basically Canada across the border to see the other side of Niagara Falls. And Mexico just across the border, basically just with some friends one time to see what the heck it was like to cross the border. We didn't stay. So I have, so that, I've done a lot of traveling, as Codation's preface that his question with, but most of it has been in the United States thus far, because I didn't really fall in love or realize that I love traveling until later in life. But
Okay.
I do have a couple places that I'm excited to go outside the United States, and the wife and I actually got ours and the kids' passports this year. We actually filed for them right before like COVID and everything hit, like in December or January of this, and then COVID hit. But we did finally get them. There are a couple places. I don't really know where I would want to go first, but the two main, I'll give you the three main places we want to go. Tokyo, Japan. That's always been a dream of mine for as long as I can remember. I've always enjoyed the
Ever
Japanese
since you've seen
culture.
Fast and the Furious.
No, actually, no. More anime. I used to watch a ton of anime, as we've talked about. I know you watched a couple, but I used to be pretty big into anime. So that was always on the list as a place I thought would be. And I just always love cities. That's the main thing I travel to is cities. And then outside of that, Buenos Aires, Argentina. I love Spanish culture as well. My wife does as well. She's way more into Spanish culture than me. I've always thought that would be a cool capital to check out. Me and the wife both are learning Spanish and speak a little bit of Spanish. Just always been interested in that culture. And then thirdly, India, actually. My wife's brother currently lives in India. He's married to a movie star over there, a Bollywood actress. And they live in a nice big mansion. And we thought it would be cool to go over there and visit them, since, visit her brother basically in the country he lives in.
Very cool, very cool. So now, I mean, this is a complete side story, but I'm curious to know, like, how the heck he ended up in India. What's the story with that?
Yeah, just work. He worked in marketing jobs
Okay.
and stuff, and did a lot of IT, like tech style jobs and stuff. And he was working in Pittsburgh, PA, in that city, and his company needed someone that could go to India. I think he's kind of similar to me. I think he just wanted the opportunity to travel and stuff. And then when he went over there, I think what kept him over there was meeting his wife, his now wife.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Okay.
yeah, so just a work thing that then turned into, a relationship that then turned into him moving there full time.
Gotcha.
Yep,
Cool.
yep.
I saw something pop up on YouTube, but what was that?
Yeah, Hokage asked if you could collab with any YouTuber, who would it be? That's a good question, Hokage, and I feel like it should be.
Wait before you answer.
Sure.
Answer. So I do have this one down here, not on collaboration, but I do want to just add to this same question, so then you can just elaborate on both of them. And I just put, have you ever met a fellow YouTuber, before in person, like hung out with them? So this kind of goes hand in hand with the collaboration, so you can kind of just hit that same thing all in the same question.
Sure. I have not. Neither. Okay. I've not done any type of collab. I've not done any type of meeting a YouTuber. I've met friends and stuff that I've gamed with for years in real life. There's several people that I've traveled to where they live and hung out with them, but not YouTubers specifically. Not for lack of trying. I've actually there's several YouTubers that I know of in the Cleveland area, which is about 45 minutes from where I live, that city. And there are several that I've reached out to and tried to just like start a friendship with or something. But to be completely honest, I've just never even gotten, I guess I'm just not big enough or whatever, but I've never gotten any kind of response. I've never gotten, like not even a chance of starting anything.
Are they in the same niche as you? I mean, I know your channel's not really niche, but I mean, but like,
yeah, I was gonna say when my channel, back before COVID and everything really hit, and I really started focusing on like tech reviews and gaming. I did a lot of photography and videography stuff, like vlogs or just like cinematic style. I was trying to learn cinematic style stuff, and they matched that. So at the time when I was reaching out, yes, they were in the same field. Now, obviously not. I have not met any gamer or streamers or anything
Gotcha.
around my area to be able to collab with.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
But to answer Okage's questions, if I could collab with any YouTuber, who would it be? There are, I'll tell you, there are 3 that come to mind. One's going to be, probably the same one everybody on YouTube would love to hang out with for a day. But the other 2, I don't know. They're a little bit smaller creators. My first one, the absolute, if I had to pick out of just one person, and that was my only, would be Maddie Hapoya. I don't know if anybody in here knows who he is. But
interesting.
And only because if I'm being, not so much that I think he's going to be, the smartest YouTuber ever. For example, my one of my picks out of the 3 that I said would be Casey Neistat, the godfather of creating YouTube vlogs and stuff.
Right.
And not that I think Maddie, Casey would probably be better in a business aspect, but Maddie is just, I feel like he's just a genuinely amazingly nice, good guy. And to me, the most people I always want around me are just good people.
Right.
So definitely Maddie Hapoya would be number 1. Number 2, and he actually doesn't live too far from me, but I don't know if it would ever happen, would be Cody Warner. I don't know if anybody knows of him. He was a small vlogger. He started the movement called No Small Creator. But he lives in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And I always thought it would be cool to meet him just because, again, I think he seems like a really fun, outgoing. It seems like we would get along well. Both Maddie and I, even before I got into YouTube and stuff, I've always owned, I've always been a big sport person. So I've always owned, I own a one wheel. I own the original one wheel. Before they even became popular, I had one. I do. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but even the slack lines, I do slack line and then I'm actually really big into sports and things like that. And so those 2, Maddie Hapoya, Cody, they're both big into traveling. They're both kind of more sporty people. So I just think it would be cool to meet them. And then my 3rd would be Casey Neistat. Just that's strictly, again, I think it would be cool to hang out with, to try to go surfing or something with him because I've never done that. But more for him, just because he's the fucking godfather of YouTube fucking vlogging. And
do you know what's blowing my mind right now? For whatever reason, I 100% expected in your top 3 to have Peter McKinnon. I don't know why. I have no clue why. I just, for whatever reason, thought that would be in your top 3.
Nope. I mean, I like Peter McKinnon. I like his content. I watch a lot of his vids. He's definitely one of the top people I watch. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Because to me, I would, again, I'm choosing mainly for just who I think I would jive well with, I'm thinking who I could be friends with. And I don't mean like that I'm trying to become best friends with these creators, but I just mean, I feel like our personalities and stuff would jive pretty well.
Right.
Out of Casey and Peter, either one of them would strictly be just because of to pick their brain over YouTube and stuff. And I just feel like Casey would be the better for me out of those 2 for what I would like to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, and I could see that. I mean, based on your reasoning, yeah, that makes sense. I definitely think that 100%. I definitely think that Maddie would be a really good choice. I've tuned into both Peter and Maddie's content and just their daily vlogs and their photography stuff, because, even though I do mobile gaming, my background, I'm a graphic designer, so I tune into a lot of their tutorial videos and stuff for a lot of their Adobe products. And Maddie, oh my gosh, dude, his son is absolutely adorable,
God, I know,
dude.
I love it. I think that's the other thing too, because versus Peter McKinnon, I know he has 2 daughters or whatever, but he doesn't include them in it. So I guess I probably relate more to Maddie being having a little boy myself and all of that.
Right.
And again, I just think he's a real authentic type dude. And I like authenticity. It's probably the biggest thing to me. I don't even care if you're a dickhead. I'll be friends with you if you're a dickhead, as long as you're authentic about being a dickhead. That's the big thing to me. So, but yeah.
Yep.
Just chat. I don't know if but just to catch up. Alex D says, all right, pretty good destinations. On my side, haven't been able to go to Key West when I was in Florida. It was a holiday. Lots of people suggested not to go, but images I've seen looks awesome. Yeah, definitely. I went a reef dive in there and everything. I got pictures from underwater when I did that. I love it. I was waking up drinking mimosas and eating key lime pie at like a place. It was amazing. I could sit on the beach, drink misos in the morning. Oh, it's amazing. Hokage says, but not PewDiePie. For some reason, I kind of expected PewDiePie. You know, this might come like to a shock to a lot of, because even like Codations, Gamer and stuff, I really don't watch any gaming content on YouTube at all. Like really none. Gaming's kind of, I'm becoming known for gaming, which is kind of weird because gaming has never been my main thing in life. It's always been just something I chose over like movies. Like I would rather, like in my free time, I would rather game than watch a movie. And it was just kind of like even streaming, the streaming that I do, it has nothing to do with video games. I could care less about the video games. I just like hanging out with people and chatting. Like if people would just come
to be playing a game,
right. If people just came and chatted, like if I could do this every single time and just talk to people, I'd probably not ever play a video game. I'd probably just sit here and chat with people. But you know, you got to fill the dead space, and video games do that well. And I do enjoy them. But I really don't watch any gaming content outside of, I watch one Twitch streamer pretty regularly, like if I'm working and have them up in the background, which is Angry Pug. And that's pretty much it. Anybody else I watch on Twitch is either like Codations once in a while. I'll pop in that live stream. Packs, like people that are in my community that I'm just trying to support back. But outside of that, I don't watch PewDiePie. I've seen a couple of his things. I've seen a couple of Markiplier's things. But outside of that, I don't watch any of like the more popular people right now, like Valkyrie, Ninja. I mean, I know of them just because I know the industry, because I do run this like a business. But yeah, most of my passion is actually not in gaming. It's in traveling, photography, videography, vlogs. That's why I'm starting the second channel in 2021, is to do more of that kind of content. Also, even if that's not the content that makes me money or whatever, at least it gives me an outlet to do that stuff somewhere else. Anyways, long-winded explanations, but I guess that's what this is about.
But well, on a side note, I know this has nothing to do with me as a podcast, but you know what's interesting though on that note is that I don't either. I don't tune into I don't tune into any of the mainstream content creators or people on Twitch, like streamers. Like I don't tune into any of them that play, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, anything but mobile games. Like I literally, like all the streamers that I watch play mobile games. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then, like you said, I run my channel like I run, you know, like a business. So I do all of my research. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm looking at, you know, other content creators that's in the mobile gaming space, you know, checking out their content, tuning into their games, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And personally, my favorite content creator besides you, to be honest with you, is all in mobile gaming.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is the only way that for those of you that don't know, the only way I stumbled across your channel is because I started making content creation. You know what I mean? Like that was literally the reason how I landed on your channel. You know what I mean? Right. And then here we are. Now we're, you know, such good friends. And like I would have never guessed that I would have landed on here just because of, you know, a tutorial video. I'm like, oh shit, he's got a Discord. Let me hop into Discord. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm the same way though. I don't watch anybody on the big screen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think, at least for me, it's a different, you know, my goal is not video games. My goal is meeting people, hanging out with people, having fun with people. So again, I just, most of my time, and plus just, again, most of my time, I've said it a lot on streams and stuff, but I don't watch a lot of content anyways, just because I don't have the time normally out of everything I'm doing.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah. So yeah. But I don't know. I think I answered those questions. I think that's long-winded. Princess says, keep forgetting it's 2021. You know, for the longest time, I thought Codations was some other guy that used to come to your stream. Then I realized it wasn't him. LOL.
Then you realize this red, luscious beard and just how handsome I was. And then you were like, oh, it's definitely not this other guy. Makes sense. I know. I agree with you.
I'm sure she still just thinks of you as the alien titties guy. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's where it's at. If aliens do exist and they are going to come, I promise you they're going to have like the most biggest, luscious titties probably.
All right, but there. I think we're caught up on questions in the chat, sir.
Yep. Perfect.
So I'll hand it back to you.
So Yep. So the next thing is that does lead me into YouTube. Give me the lowdown and now you got to remind myself. I can't remember. So you got to remind me, but I'm pretty sure this is not your first channel, or maybe it is your first channel and you revamped it. But take me back to your very first YouTube, why you jumped on YouTube, and then bring me up to speed until till now, to where your channel is now. I mean, because I know you've had a
Damn.
lot longer experience on YouTube, right? I mean,
Yes.
or no?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I posted my first video on YouTube when YouTube was created. But
Okay.
it was just in an entirely different niche. At the time when I first got on YouTube, I had made a couple and it was actually tutorial videos. Um, I was in internet
Okay.
marketing when internet marketing first started. I grew up on the computers, on the internet, and I always have loved making money. I just do. It's kind of a hobby of mine. I don't even care. Like, I live pretty modestly, and I'm not saying it, but I just trying to set it up properly because I don't want people to think I'm
Right.
money hungry. But like me and my wife, we live in I don't know, but we live in a $50,000 home that we almost have paid off. Like we like don't
Right.
have debt. We have older cars. We have most of our money's in like investments and stuff. Because for me, I just like trying to make more money. Like it's a game for me almost. I enjoy like stock markets, investing in cryptocurrencies. I was pretty early in that space. I just like seeing how much I can accumulate, I guess. So I live pretty frugally. I classify that I follow essentialism pretty well. And I don't know
Okay.
exactly why I was explaining all this, so let me think now for a second. But basically
Back
what I was gonna
into
say,
getting into YouTube.
yeah, okay. So I was in internet marketing and stuff, and I enjoyed doing it. But I've always kind of enjoyed teaching other people. So I actually started creating some tutorials way back in the day on a website called, I think it was called Vidler. I think it was. I think
Okay.
Vimeo and Vidler like came out around the same time. And this was pre YouTube, and I started making a couple videos on there because I actually had a paid internet forum where people could they paid me monthly $50 a month to be a part of this forum, for me to help them with affiliate marketing. I was a pretty big name in affiliate marketing back in the
Okay.
day, with a
Yep.
lot of other bigger names like Shoe Money, John Chow. I don't know if anybody knows. Probably not. You're all probably too young. But this was when, if you remember the free ringtones you used to be able to get back, like when you used to have flip phones, like before
Yep. Yep.
smartphones. And those advertisements, it was called Jamster. They were like
Yep.
everywhere, like Jamster
Yep.
ringtones. I promoted a lot of their services online with a couple other people, and we were pretty big in that
Interesting.
space, um, doing tens of $1,000s a month, like myself, in affiliate income. So I created this forum to teach other people, and they paid me, and we'd travel all over the country to conferences and stuff, affiliate marketing conferences. As the industry was kind of starting up, we kind of paved the way for what is affiliate marketing today, to be honest. It was very
Interesting.
funny. It was lots of stripper parties and lots of drugs and lots of all these basement dweller kids. I don't know. It's a whole other story. I'm not going to just go into a whole big ramble, but it was a crazy time. I remember being in
Interesting.
Miami, cocaine capital of the United States, back when I was like 18, 19. Strip clubs, it's crazy. But anyways, hanging out with
That's crazy.
multi-millionaires. Oh my god, it was crazy. But anyways, what was your question?
Well, it's kind of like a two-part question, but basically, I was just curious on like what brought you
Okay, yeah,
um,
yeah, to
to
YouTube.
YouTube. So
So,
okay, so you gave us a little bit of backstory. Let's
yep.
let's jump a little bit. We don't need to dive into too heavy of why the channel or what drove you away
Hmm.
from marketing, but bring us up to speed. When did you decide to get back into it, doing what you're doing now seriously, like full time? Not full time as in, you know what I'm talking about, but you know what I
Yep,
mean,
yep.
like just getting back into doing YouTube on a regular weekly basis.
Yep, yep. So I left internet marketing for for a long time. It turned into a pretty shady business, and I completely left making videos, making anything YouTube. And again, in that same time, YouTube came out, and I started making a couple videos there. But then again, I kind of left. And it turned into a real shady business. The FTC started cracking down real hard on a lot of us. So I left. I got out of it.
Yep.
And then it was years and years and years. And actually it was Twitch. I had stumbled upon Justin TV at the time, is what Twitch was called before, and it was people just walking around live streaming their real life. It was the likes of iJustine, if people know her in the tech field.
Okay.
Back in the day, she started on Justin TV, and she was literally walking around live streaming her life, like just had a live feed up of her doing whatever. Then gaming, and I was always a gamer my whole life, but gaming was never not on the internet at all yet. But then people started gaming on Justin TV. And it started becoming more and more popular that it then turned into Twitch. They separated Justin TV. They separated the gaming industry from Twitch or from Justin TV and turned it into Twitch. And that's when I got back into producing content on the internet. I started live streaming on Twitch. And at the time when I started live streaming on Twitch, if you had 10 viewers watching your live stream, you were in the top like 10 people on League of Legends game. like the top person in the League of Legends channel had like 100 to 200 viewers max, the top person in League of Legends. And I was growing on there, and then I got banned. And again, you can ask questions if you want to go deeper into stuff, but fast forward. So then I left off the internet again for years, because, from then till now, obviously Twitch blew up a lot. So I quit making content completely again. And then I just got my account. I kept emailing them every so often, asking if they'd unban my account and let me stream again. They finally said yes one time. So they unbanned me. I started streaming again, and here we are today. So it all started with streaming, honestly.
So we have to. So then, obviously, we I was going to ask the question because you stopped there. So what did you get banned for, or can you not disclose that info?
I don't think there's any. I mean, I don't know that there would be any reason I can't. For view botting.
For view botting, that was that popular, really big thing where it looks like you got more people inside your
to rank higher under a specific game. Yep,
gotcha.
So and for anybody that doesn't know, basically for cheating, for manipulating kind of Twitch's, whose content they're showing to get on front pages.
Do people still view bot today, you think?
100%. I would say it's probably a lot harder to do nowadays, but I would say people are probably still doing it for sure.
Gotcha. Interesting.
I've just learned that it's not ever worth it. It's not worth sacrificing your brand. If you're thinking long term, it's just not worth it.
Right. I've heard people doing something similar than that, like on YouTube, but instead of whatever you want to call it, botting in Twitch, live streams, they do it on videos or channels, where, they pay so much or whatever. And then, if you were able to see the back end analytics, you would see their chart randomly just, spike straight up,
Yep.
And then it would spike back down, like within 24 hours.
Yeah. People have been doing it on all social media sites first. I mean, you can get, fake Twitter followers, Instagram followers. You can get fake views on YouTube, fake subscribers on YouTube. You can get all of that stuff.
Interesting.
So yeah. But my YouTube career has always went with the gaming. So when I was streaming before I got banned, I was uploading gaming content on YouTube. And then which is the same channel now. There's videos on there from back then. But then you'll notice a large gap from me making videos, which was during that ban phase. When I got banned off Twitch, I quit making videos on YouTube as well.
Right, which makes sense. Okay, and then you just came back to the space once you got your account basically unbanned.
Yep.
Very interesting. So now, what prevented you from just starting up another Twitch channel and just?
When you're banned on Twitch, you get you're banned from, like, if they see you streaming on another account, they'll ban that account. You're not allowed to start. If you get banned on Twitch, you're not allowed to start another. I mean, you can, and you might get away with it for weeks or even. And again, now it's probably easier to get away with starting another because it's so large. There's so many streamers. But back then, I mean, you're talking maybe there was 100 streamers on Twitch total. I mean, like the biggest game was League of Legends, and there was maybe 20 people streaming League of Legends when I streamed back then.
Right. No, I totally get it. Yep. No, I totally get it. And
so if you created another account, they would find you instantly and you'd just be banned again.
Right. And then now it'd be like almost, in my opinion, I feel like it'd be near impossible unless if, you know what I mean, unless if you had something tied to your other account, you know what I mean? Like, because I mean, because especially if you went by a name, they'd physically have to be watching your video, you know what I mean, and comparing your video, like your face and stuff from another person. You know what I mean? Because how,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean, how else would they know? They'd have no clue.
Yeah, which yeah, that's what I said. Today you could probably create another account as long as you weren't like a big creator that they would that the Twitch employees are going to recognize, which 99% of streamers aren't.
Right. Which makes sense. Which makes sense. Cool. All right. So that leads me into the next question here that I do have on the list, which kind of goes a little bit before your YouTube thing. I'm curious on. So we've met your wife in chat. Quite a few people had. They see her here and there. If you don't know, that's OMG. It's Becca, right? Just to make
Yep.
sure I'm correct on
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And so with that being the case, what is the story there? I know you got kids, so I want to group it all together in one big question. The question is how did you guys meet? And then, obviously you had two kids now, three kids now, two kids now,
Two kids.
two
Yeah.
kids, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
give me some information there.
I had just gotten out of a weird relationship
Okay.
with a girl, and I was pretty much just. I was reading a book on relationships on I think it's called How to Find Your Soulmate or something, and
Because you love to read.
I do, yep, I love to read, and I posted a picture of like the current, I used to post on Snapchat, like I used to use Snapchat quite frequently, and I just, people are like, oh, this is the book I'm reading now. It was basically one of those posts. I was just like, hey, here's the book I'm reading now, and actually another friend of mine, his wife sent me a Snapchat back, replied to it, and said she had a friend and wanted to know if I wanted to meet her, and sent me a picture of her, of her and her friend. They were currently together at a bar drinking or something, and I saw my wife when she sent it back, and I said hell yes, and that was it, man. It was just we went on our first date like that week, and we dated for like 3 months, and she moved in with me, and we dated for like then another, like she lived with me for like another 3 months, and we got married. Like it was just kind of boom boom boom.
Damn, very cool.
Yep. And which we were both older, so I think we kind of knew what we wanted. We'd both been in relationships, so we were just kind of like, yep, this is like, you got what I'm looking for, I got what you're looking for, let's do this thing. Not to make it sound like it wasn't like lovey-dovey or anything, but I'm just saying we're older, which I think was why it went a lot quicker, because most of my relationships did not go that quick. But anyways, and then our kid, she had a daughter actually. So Ellie is actually my stepdaughter.
Okay.
When I met her, she, had, at the time, Ellie would have been 4 or 5. I forget exact date or age.
Okay.
And now she's 9. But when we met, she was like, I think 5. Because we've been together like 4 years with dating and everything. And then our son, we had, he'll be 2 in July, I think.
2 years,
July.
you already forgot. Come on.
Yeah. I think in July is his birthday.
Gotcha. Very cool.
But yeah, cool. I mean, again, I can dive into more if you're at, but you just kind of said give you the rundown, so I'm happy to elaborate.
Yeah, no big deal. I saw in the chat here on YouTube, it looks like Hokage said, if we have questions for Codations, do we just save it for next week? I believe so. I believe D, is that what you're planning for next week, or are you wanting to return back to normal podcast and then come back to this the week after?
No, I figured next week we would do you. We'd flip it and do you or whatever.
Sweet.
Sweet. So yeah, if you have question for Codations, I would save them for next week, because we're gonna do the same thing but just reversed for next week. I'll have questions, but we'll use your guys, just like we've been doing. Whenever anyone in here asks a question, we pull it first, but I'll have backup questions to kind of keep the conversation going. But yeah, we will be doing Codations next week, so save questions for him if you don't mind till next week. I mean, if it's something simple in relation to what we're talking about and you're just asking because of something we're talking about, I don't care. Like if he says something, you're like, oh, clarify this. But I'm just saying, main questions, yeah. That way I'm not having to come up with all the questions next week.
Anything D can do to the audience.
Yep. And then let me get caught up on chat, because we did have some other stuff.
Go ahead.
Because there was some from
go
YouTube
ahead.
too. King Tech says, how did you get banned? Cease. You'll have to rewind the podcast. We're not going to go all through it again just because I don't want people that are listening to it to have to hear the story twice. Princess says, dang, 100. And she also said, you're like Mario collecting coins, but I don't remember what that is in reference to.
That was referring to you collecting money.
Oh, yeah. Yep, it's the truth. I don't know. I did play Sonic and Mario a lot when I was kids. And I always did like seeing how many free lives I can get from collecting every single little coin.
Yeah.
Barb says, hey, D, hey, Code. Princess says, what? He's
going?
turning 2 already? Well, yeah, a couple months here. He's like 18 months, 19 months. I'm horrible with birth dates and stuff. I know it sounds horrible because I saw somebody else said, Alex said in YouTube, I think in July, someone is in trouble. My wife's used to it, dude. I couldn't tell you our anniversary. I couldn't tell you our... Honestly, I forget half the time how old I am. I don't ever know what day it is. I don't know dates. I don't know. It's for some reason, dates and stuff have never been very important to me, I guess, or my forte or whatever you want to call it.
That's funny.
Barb says, I'm sorry I'm a little late. I've been working all day. Hope you're having a great stream. We are. All right. I think we're caught up.
Perfect. All right. Sounds good. Yeah, no, man, that's a very interesting story. So like, speaking a little bit on the love triangle thing, the very cool part about that is it's always interesting. And I feel like some of the viewers listening might find it interesting is to hear, like the different setup with relationships or marriages. You know what I mean? Some people, they find somebody, you click, or like you said, your ages or whatever, you just knew exactly what you wanted. You threw it all on the table, called it a day. You mean a wraps 3 months, 6 months in, or whatever, boom. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. And then you have people who are together for, 7, 8 years, before they ever, pop the question and actually get married and, or whatever. So it's just cool. Like I said, I just wanted to know a little bit of information about that myself. Plus whoever else is listening, I'm sure found it interesting.
Yeah.
So the next question is that we have up here, is going to be, favorite genre of video game. And not game specific, but favorite genre. So if you had to only play one genre forever, or maybe you were just going to the computer and you could play whatever video game of whatever genre, what genre would it be that you would be your genre of choice?
Oh.
And it has to be a video game, of course. So when I say, you know what I mean when I say genre, horror, survival, shooter, whatever.
Yeah, I don't have to choose one video game, just one genre.
Correct.
Okay, if I was choosing a genre, it would probably be horror.
Yeah.
Those are some of the games I have the most fun in, and I feel like most people have the most fun watching me play, which then makes me happy when other people are laughing because I'm getting jump scared and shit, and I enjoy it as well. So probably horror.
So then but hold on. Take the audience out. If there was no streaming involved, no audience engagement, nothing, just you sitting down in the room playing by yourself, what would be your genre of choice? Again, I know that's not really you. I mean, I know because that's what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, that you do play video games, but it's more of a pastime. You do it, because you like to talk in the audience. But
yeah,
if you took that out.
If I took it out, it would probably be co-op.
Okay.
Because again, even before I started streaming, I mean, I play single player games now, but before I mainly played games with friends. It's always been a social thing for me. Gaming's always been a social thing for me. Always. Cool. That's why I like it over movies or something, because I can get in here and be chatting with people in Discord, or back in the day it was TeamSpeak or Ventrilo, but it's always been a social thing for me. Always.
Cool. Very cool. Hokage asked another question here on YouTube. It looks like now this might be one hard for you to answer currently on the spot, but he basically says, speaking of games, do you think you could list off the stuff you plan on playing and potentially in the order you plan on playing them?
Raft more. I've been enjoying Raft. We would definitely be playing that for a while. I would say until friends start getting bored of playing it with me, or I get bored of playing it. Outside of that, man, I really don't, I don't plan games. I don't plan a lot I plan when it comes to games, and the stream. The stream was always, the gaming was always secondary. The streaming and gaming I always started doing for fun. It is now what's starting to make me money and stuff, which surprises me. I mean, I know I kind of touched on this on another question. but my goal was not ever to really create gaming content. I just liked streaming. Um, but I mean, people like it. I like making content people like. But my goal on YouTube and stuff was always, when I first started posting and stuff on YouTube again, it was vlog style videos, tech style videos, things like that. So I don't really
Right.
plan a lot in the streaming space outside of just, I basically add games to my wish list that I think sound interesting, that people recommend to me. And when I get tired of a game, I get on and I look through that list of games, and then I just, whatever like jumps out to me, I buy it and I start playing it. And
Right.
speaking of, because Okage says, because I thought you remembered you said Subnautica was on a list or something. That's the list I'm talking about. Subnautica, it's a game on my wish list. But when or even if I'll ever actually play it, I have no clue. Like, I just don't think that far ahead in terms of the game I'm playing. I think that far ahead in not specific content, but just larger business goals or things like that. And so
Right.
the micro can change very quick based on the macro, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm even explaining any of this any good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it make perfect sense. I mean, yeah, you just don't plan the individual game like out to the next game. I mean, you pick up a game, you start playing it, featuring it on the channel, do whatever, and then once you either get bored or or you want to move on or whatever the
Or
reasoning
even if
is, then
chat
you
gets
just go back to
bored.
the
Like,
list.
I left, like,
Right.
Genshin Impact. I could probably still be playing Genshin Impact today personally, but the
Because you
stream
enjoyed
hated
it,
it.
but the right.
And so it just was, again, it's not the video games to me that's important.
Right,
Which
right. You want the engagement and
yeah, it sounds almost backwards, because you're like, oh, well, what are you in this for? You just in this to grow a community and to make money off gaming. You don't really care about gaming. No, it's just I don't care enough about any one particular game
over your
versus
audience.
the audience. Correct. Like,
Right,
I'd
no, I
rather
totally
have
get it.
play stuff you guys like, which is like, even Subnautica. It's probably not a game I would personally play if it was like, I would never buy it and play it just for myself. I've, like, after watching the things and stuff, I do plan on buying it and playing it sometime, because I know there's a lot of people that want to see it, and I think it'll be fun.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm not going to dive too deep into it because that's not about the podcast tonight, but I mean, yeah, I mean that's an
Let me say
interesting
it one other
philosophy and
way.
theory.
Let me say it one other way, just to kind of, I get more enjoyment out of bringing enjoyment to others. It's more fun for me to play a game that I necessarily don't like, but it's causing other people to have a lot of fun, versus playing a game that I love, but there's no one there having fun with me. I think it goes back to that social aspect.
Right, which I totally get you, but again, like I said, I'm not want to dive too deep into it
Yeah, yeah,
because
that's fine.
my philosophy is a little bit different with that. I kind of sit on the realm of playing a game that you really enjoy, you know what I mean? You yourself personally, and then the audience who, you know what I mean, who enjoy watching you and you play games, you know what I mean, shouldn't matter on what the content technically is, right? Like that's kind of the way I feel. Like maybe that, the community would then build themselves around watching whatever you play, you mean whether they actually play that game or not. But I mean, again, we're not going to dive too deep into that, but you get what
Sure,
I'm saying.
sure, sure.
Um all right, so that's going to be what that question is. You kind of answered the other one on that specific note, so I'm just going to continue scrolling down here and pick a really good one. Outside of traveling, making videos, and then playing video games or live streaming, so to speak, because I know you do that hand in hand. You don't really play games much off stream, I don't think. But do you have any hobbies? And what I mean by that is hobbies that you're not you're not doing to make money or I mean like as a job, I mean something that you do enjoy. Now you did mention a little bit of like photography. Is that something that you do on your, I mean, do you have time for that? I mean, I know you mentioned before in some of your live streams yoga. I know, I guess we want to know what your hobbies are. What do you dive deep into
Sure, sure,
outside
sure.
that isn't on camera?
Sure. I would say those are probably the biggest things in my life, are definitely content creation, gaming, and traveling. With COVID, traveling's taken a backseat burner. With my photography, uh, the photography I'm interested in is travel photography, so that's taken a back burner this year. The video side that I like of photography and video typically revolves around my content, which I still do that. So those are definitely my biggest three. Outside of that, I do a lot of things. I'm a daily meditator. I've been meditating daily for going on 3 years. And before that, I've meditated. Just it wasn't a daily practice; it was a here and there. But I've been practicing daily meditation for 3 years. I also like yoga, but I wouldn't say it's yoga. I like working out. I do lots of different. I mean, I lift weights at the gym every day. I do weights and cardio every day at the gym. Monday to Friday for the gym. But then on weekends, like we'll throw in either, me and my wife will go for a walk. We'll throw in yoga, whatever. I switch them out basically. If I get tired of one thing, I switch something out. So, but yeah, yoga. I've been doing yoga for years. I love it. I don't do it as much anymore since I am into weightlifting and cardio mainly, but I still do it occasionally. I take Spanish classes every day for almost a year now. I've been doing that. I'm really big into reading. I read every single day, books. And everything that I say I do every single day, obviously there's days I might miss or something, just to 100% transparency. But
right,
99% of the days out of a year I do these things. And I'm pretty big into journaling. I do, but it changes. Not journaling like just writing out like Dear Diary, not doing a diary. But I buy journals that have prompts. And I also do gratitude journals a lot. And I would say that, and then outside of that, just my family, man. Me and the wife, especially when it's spring, summer here, basically the weather's nice. We do a lot of hiking and stuff, a lot of hiking with the kids, a lot of photography then, when we're out hiking and stuff. Winter months, a lot of it comes indoors and stuff. I have a pretty large family, so we do family dinners every Sunday. They're a big part of, I have a lot of sisters, a lot of nieces and nephews, and we're into, I do a lot of one wheeling. I do a lot of, slack lining in the summer. We do a lot of activities in the summer and stuff. So
very cool.
But yeah,
very cool. Yeah, I know that's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I already knew a handful of that stuff, but I just want, like I said, some of these questions on here, I just wanted to ask, for the sake of the community, you know what I mean? And anybody that's listening out there that may not know, some of the stuff that you actually get into on your day-to-day basis or your weekly basis. So, all right. So this is kind of a fun one. So everybody's going to be a little bit different, I feel like, for the most part, to this question, but this is one you've probably been asked, I'm assuming, a bazillion times. If you happen to win the lottery tomorrow, what would you do in terms of I want to say the brunt of your money? I don't want to say, here's what I don't want.
Are you talking about any kind of are you giving me an amount at all? Like, what do you mean by like Mega Millions?
Okay,
like it's like at least
I'm going to
like,
say,
are you talking a million or like?
No. We'll say one, I don't know. We'll say 500 million or a billion. Okay. We'll say like a crap ton of money, like more money than you could ever.
Right.
Okay?
Enough to do whatever you want, basically.
Correct. And my question is, I don't want to, I just invest it all. Right. Or I would do nothing with it. I want to know, and the audience wants to know, what would be your crazy elaborate, because you know how that question is. It's always an elaborate, crazy question for people. So
yep.
Fill me in.
I hate to sound whatever, but it's pretty, it's going to be pretty basic. I would buy a really nice house. Obviously, we would sell the one we're in now. I wouldn't rent it out. I would just get rid of it. If I have that much money, there's no sense, like you said, invest in per se. So I would completely get rid of the house we're in, buy a nice house, large house that has plenty of room. I would also buy a studio space for making videos, creating content. And I would probably have a studio set up there, but also some kind of a huge home studio so that I can, and the equipment in both, cameras, computers, gear, to do it either way. If I want to, because most of the time I like working from home. I like being around my family. I like being able to get up from my desk chair and take a 15-minute break, play with my son, talk to my wife, all that. But there are times that like I do just wish I could, be in an own space to when I'm thinking real hard about something. So I'd like to have the opportunity, the ability to do either or whenever I choose.
Right.
So I would want a studio at home, completely decked out, and a studio somewhere else. And when I say like a really nice house, you know, in the area I live now, I wouldn't move. So it would probably be, you know, like $250,000 to a $500,000 home. I mean, you can get a lot in Ohio for, you know, maybe I could spend $1 million on a house. I don't know. It would be a nice house.
Right.
But it wouldn't be like, I wouldn't go out and buy $100 million home. I have no use for it. I wouldn't want to clean it. I wouldn't want the headache of hiring maids and shit to clean it and all that shit. So it'd be a pretty modest house, but a large house. Like I'd definitely splurge some money. Then outside of that, it would be brand new cars for me and the wife. You know, probably Teslas, if I'm being completely honest. I love Teslas. You know, probably an SUV and then probably a Roadster. There's $1 million right there.
Yep.
You know, so those, and then outside of that, all the other money would be invested so that we didn't have to work again the rest of our lives, and then we would spend whatever we're making. I would still probably do. I don't know if I'd do the exact content I do now. I'm sure it might change a little. I'd be naive to say it would stay exactly the same. I would 100% still live stream on Twitch, even if it's to 5 viewers. I don't know. My content on YouTube would probably go completely from gaming to vlog style content, travel vlogs specifically. So I would basically do travel vlogs. You can
afford it.
Right. I would basically do travel vlogs and then my gaming would be only on like Twitch. And that would but I would still probably do those two things. And then the rest of the money would be spent on the traveling part.
Yep.
Like you know, and when I say that, the goal is what mine and my wife's dream is we have a house here in Ohio paid off. We're here in the summer around family. And then after the holidays, January 2nd, we go to a new place wherever in the world and we live there for 3-4 months, come back in the spring, but go to a different place each year, you know, and live more long-term in an area.
Yep.
And that would be it.
Sense.
And that literally, that would be, I don't need anything more than that, which I'm sure that would all take some money, but I don't even need that much. I mean, I'd be fine with, you know, having $1 million making me money that we would just, you know, have $100,000 home and used cars that are paid off and then the rest for traveling.
Right.
Couple chat things. Spider says hello. Hey Spider, sorry it took me a minute, man. Hello, welcome. Yearly Man says hi. He says, I don't have a Twitter. I don't support communists. You can jump in our Discord server, !Discord. Carter News says, hey, do you remember Nintendo DS? I was just playing some racing Sonic games on my old one that I got in 2015. Remember those? I do remember those. I was never after I had Nintendo, I had Super Nintendo, then I went to, or I'm sorry, I had Nintendo, then I went to Sega and I had Sega Genesis, and then I did not stick with Nintendo. I went to Sega Dreamcast, and then I got, after that, my dad no longer bought me any gaming systems. He was pretty strict about them. I did not game again until Xbox, and I bought an Xbox myself when I was a teenager. I did play some PC games though. I should say that. What happened was I went from Sega Dreamcast to PC gaming until Xbox, the first Xbox, and then I went back. I never had any handheld consoles. Carter also says put 50% in stocks, the other 30% goes to my bank account so I can earn interest, and 20% just get better stuff. Yeah, basically. Hokage says, I would want a house built into a mountain with a Fallout-style vault tech door. That would be cool. Yearly Man says, what kind of work do you do? Actually, I just lost my job due to COVID. So currently, the only thing I'm doing is creating content full-time, which does not pay the bills. But again, kind of as was my answer to making a bunch of money, me and the wife we live pretty modestly and don't spend a lot of money. So for the foreseeable future, we're fine. And I'm basically just trying to give full-time content creation a run as it is starting to take off for me a little bit. I mean, at least to the point where I'm making money from it, which is more than a lot of people can say. And not saying that as a flex, but saying, so that's why I'm kind of starting to really pour into it.
Very cool.
And that's all cut up.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, I really like, I'm gonna just say this right now. I really like how the community's coming in and asking some questions. It's kind of nice.
Yep.
It helps ease it up a little bit, because it's not all just me drilling you. Asking
you
you
know,
question
yeah,
after
I don't know if
question
my
after
wife
question.
would like that either.
I mean, who knows? She's probably never seen it before, so she can't say for certain.
Well, I'm, yeah, go ahead. We'll leave that one there.
Oh man. All right. So this is going to be a little awkward one, but I wanted to ask this one just for me because I might just be the weirdo. But all right. So you are going somewhere and you do like to travel, but now my question is do you bring a specific pillow with you when you go places, like whether that's traveling or even like at home? Do you sleep with this like an actual special pillow, or are you the type of person that you can just go to somebody's house, crash wherever, they toss you a pillow, you sleep on it, and you're fine?
Yeah, the latter. I can. I mean, I've my whole in order to travel when I was younger, before I started getting money and saving money in life and earning money
Mm-hmm.
from stocks and stuff. It was done very on the cheap. I mean, a lot of my early things were just jumping in my car and just driving. I mean, the trip I talked about earlier to Key West, where I said that would be the one place I'd like. That whole trip, I drove down in my car, and I stayed in my car a lot of times, like in like I slept in it at pit stops, like what are not pit stops, what are they called, like on the highway, the restroom areas and stuff, rest areas.
Yeah. You rest areas.
I've like I used to sleep in rest areas. I would crash at just friends' houses on their couches. I did big trips out west where I did a lot of that too.
Right.
So in my early days of traveling, I very much, so I guess I would just say I've built. I mean, even today, I would have no issues like staying at like a hosta or something. So it's just I have no issues crashing anywhere. I could sleep on a couch. I can sleep with no pillow on a floor with no blanket. Doesn't bother me.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm the complete opposite, dude.
I
I
will say
literally
when I'm home, I have a specific pillow, and I have a really nice pillow. It's like one of the like cooling gel, because my head,
Yep.
my face gets warm. I have a preference. I mean, I love like the gel cooling pillows, nice, firm pillow. I like a firm mattress. But at the end of the day,
Right.
it doesn't bother me to sleep on anything. I've also, with work, with my work, I traveled a lot of different hotels. So I've been in a lot of different hotel beds. So I've just kind of
Right.
gotten used to soft, hard, whatever. I mean, everybody's different, like hotels and stuff. So I've just gotten used to it. Doesn't
Right.
bother me a bit.
Right. Right. No, I was just going to add to that on my note. Mine, to be honest with you. So mine is a little bit different. So like, my entire life, yeah, I was kind of like just like a pickup pillow guy. I mean, I pretty much just laid my head on whatever, you know what I mean, stacked up, pickup pillows if I had to, or whatever, just to make it work.
Yep.
But when I met my wife, her, and I mean, I don't even know how long, like probably almost her entire life, they had what they call My Pillow. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or if it's
Yep, I
popular
have.
anywhere else,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
okay, so
they're
you have.
popular.
So, okay, yeah. So I know in our area they are. I never heard of them until I moved here. But anyways, long story short, when I first met her family all used a My Pillow, right? And you basically go to this store, you lay down, on this mattress or whatever, they like right fit you is whatever you want to
Yep,
call
yep.
it, and they basically right fit you for a pillow. Ever since I have done that, and I want to say for 4 years now, I would say at least 4 years, I have not ever went without my pillow. Like I don't know how to explain it. I can't explain it. It's magical. I laid my head down on that pillow, and after the first night of sleeping, I mean, neck pain, back, I mean, nothing. I mean, it was just gone, from all those years. So, anyways, I just wanted to add that in there. I was just curious. I didn't know if you were a special person, kind of pillow person, or if you were more of like fuck it, whatever comes down the
Yeah,
pipe.
I mean, I
I'll grab
actually,
and sleep on.
yeah, yep. And I mean, I have like used those pillows and stuff, and I agree. Some of them are fucking magical. But I would say that I almost purposely stay away from that kind of stuff, so that I can keep that again because I mean, again, I know a lot of people in here like know me for my gaming and stuff, but like if I had to choose one thing to do the rest of my life, it would be like. Like if Discovery tomorrow came to me and said, "Hey, we'll give you a traveling show to do on Discovery, but you got to leave everything else you do. I'm sorry, guys, but I would do it in a heartbeat. It's just I love traveling.
Well, that would be
Like,
perfect because we would be buying subscriptions to Discovery so we could watch your content.
right, but I'm just like that. So I've almost purposely kept it so that, because in order to, like, traveling's expensive, as I'm sure most people know,
Right.
can get very expensive, especially if you're talking, plane tickets, hotel rooms. So I've always tried to do it. So I think I've almost purposely kept myself to the point where I can almost sleep anywhere. That's why I don't get a lot of that stuff, because I want to be able to sleep anywhere, fall asleep, no issues, that kind of stuff. I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, it does. I mean, yeah, it totally does. I just find it interesting. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole principle behind this. Is I really, really like that. I see there's a lot of chat going on.
Yeah, I'll catch up on the chat, I guess. Carter News Live says, I see. Well, I guess after Nintendo, I went to mobile gaming. I hope you get a new job and stick with streaming. Y'all are pretty good at it. All right, what you do. Thank you. Yeah, the podcast we do on Sundays, I don't recognize the name, so I'm assuming you're new around here. But every other night I do games. Sunday nights we do the podcast. But thank you. I appreciate the kind words. And yeah, we'll get a new job eventually. I'll get one whenever I need to, if I need to. Hokage says sleeping in cars is underrated, assuming it's a clean car. Mine are always a clean car. Even with kids, I bitch at them all the time to clean my car if they get it dirty. But I'm a pretty neat person. Yeah, I have no issue sleeping in a car. I actually think, to be honest, it's quite comfortable to throw back your seat and just fucking fall asleep. Alex says hostel and couch surfing is such a great experience, honestly. Plus the social aspect of it. Exactly. That's why I don't do it as much nowadays, because I have more money and I normally just grab a hotel room because it's easier. And sometimes there can be some riffraff at hostels and stuff, but I love it for that social experience.
Side note, I don't know, and I'm assuming there's some people listening to this that have no clue what you're talking about. So what is that exactly?
What is what? A hostel or couch surfing?
Yeah.
You don't know what either is?
Well,
okay, hostels are like a hotel, kind of. Not really. It's basically someone has a big space with a bunch of beds. But instead of you having your own room, everybody sleeps in one room. You just get a bed, basically, for the night. But
like
they also
Airbnb,
have...
but one big group and room.
Yes, kind of, but they normally have like they tend to be a lot more of the people that tend to frequent them tend to be marijuana or mushroom LSD type users. So it's almost a what would be the word? I don't want to say a cult. That's not the word, but a purposeful. People purposely use hostels because they know typically you're going to be allowed to smoke weed there. You're going to be allowed to take LSD, psychedelics at them without any issues. Most of the other people there are going to share in it with you if you bring some. They have like places set up for campfires. It's kind of more outdoorsy setting. A lot of times they'll be like in woods and stuff. At least most of the ones I've frequented, they tend to be off the beaten path.
I was gonna say, so are these not like?
And they're super legal? Cheap. Like you can. They're legal. I mean, the drug use isn't, but they're legal. But they're super cheap also. Like you can get a bed for the night for like $10-15. And again, they'll have like a community kitchen. Some of them will have a community kitchen, or like they got more than just the room where you sleep. They have something like normally like campfire places set up or something. Kind of think hippies. Like a lot of hippies would stay at them. I would say not just hippies, but again, I'm just trying to get for people that don't know about them. Couch surfing's a little different. A lot of people, there's like websites completely designed to this. It's just like a lot of people will offer up their couch for free for people to crash on. And again, like most of the time it's free. And like you normally do it, like most people in the community, they do it as well at their home. And it's just a great way to meet new people. Like normally the hosts are super cool. Like they'll cook you a meal and stuff, like while you're like kind of like with the area you're in, like something like there's just people being cool people, honestly, in my opinion. Again, more hippie vibe, I would say. If so, you got to be down for that kind of vibe.
Sign up, you do all this shit, and then you basically like you would Airbnb, except it would be like you just come and hang out with not paying them anything potentially, and just chilling and crashing on their couch for the night, meeting them, them, hanging out, eating meal with them.
Yep.
Interesting, dude.
And I mean, it varies. I mean, it can be. It can be, I've had some poor experiences and I've had some not so poor experiences. It depends. I mean, you're not getting the hotel experience where it's kind of, what to expect, what to get. I mean, it is different, but I don't know. It's not bad. Alex says the best way to travel, in my opinion. Carter says, if I'm at a hotel, I like the pillows. Anywhere else, I need my pillow. And then he says that he loves those pillows, talking about the My Pillows. He says, my
Right.
pillows are the bomb. And then he says, all right, I have to go. Bye, guys. Thanks for letting me talk. See y'all later. All right, Carter. Hokage says, would you give me a shout out? Yo, Hokage in the chat. There you go. There's your shout out. Alex says, hostels is usually community room. Max I've been in is 50 beds in Berlin. Couch surfing is living to someone's apartment's couch, actually, or spare room. Yeah. Princess says, that sounds like some kinky stuff. I mean, there's definitely some, like, if you're younger, it's a great experience. Like, you can have a lot of fun one-night stands and stuff. I mean, it's definitely an experience I would recommend if you're into drug use, because most of them are going to have some pretty big drug use. And again, I'm talking the United States because Alex just said it. He said it's very popular everywhere except U.S. Yeah, it is way more popular over in Europe and some of those areas. Like if you go backpacking in Europe, it's a big popular thing to go to crowd surf over there.
But how do you know?
But
I mean, like my mind instantly goes to like fear. My mind instantly goes to, I mean, again, I'm American, so I guess maybe that's what it is. But like my mind instantly goes to, like somebody robbing me, taking my money. You mean, you know what I mean? Like, not necessarily harming me, but in the terms of like, like I said, robbing me. You mean, doing something like that. Why is that not? I don't know. Like, why is that not a thing? Like, is it because these type of like, I don't want to say these type. That's negative. I'm saying like, is it because of the type of people? You mean like that are hosting these things, or you mean that are going to these things? Is it just because the type of people they are? You said more of that hippie laid back vibe. They're more trusting and opening, and that's kind of the way it is. And nobody's really abused that system. Like, I mean, I feel like somebody uses like a serial killer or something. Like that would be the best way to do it.
Yeah. Let me, Alex D says not all drug use. What the fuck? Well, again, Alex, I'm talking more on the United States side. I would say the United States side, hostels are definitely, and I don't mean like bad drug use like heroin and stuff. You don't normally see that. But most of the hostels I've gone to in the United States, almost all of them, there are people just right out in any of the community areas smoking marijuana. Psychedelics, that's more of a sometimes at some of them I've seen it, other times, not. I will say any of them I've been to, if any of them get out of control, I have seen the host kick people out. So again, I'm only speaking United States hostels and stuff. I'm not talking crowd surfing. I was talking specifically hostels with that. Crowd surfing tends to be a little bit, you're not normally going to an individual's house, and although I have, but you're not normally going to an individual's house and doing drugs. So that, Alex says it's more student cheap way to travel. You live downtown, you meet tons of travelers. Again, that's more, I think, like over in Europe and stuff that is popular. And it is like that a lot more. Like I think I even said a lot of backpack, like people that do backpacking across Europe, they'll do hostels and couch surfing. But again, I'm the ones I've only stayed in hostels and couch surfed in the United States. That's me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, to answer your questions, Codations, again, I would say, and I'm not saying anything bad about them here in the United States. Like, I'm just saying here in the United States, definitely drug use, mainly marijuana, sometimes psychedelics. But then on Codations note, to answer your question, I don't know. I mean, most of the time, most of the people there are kind of like, just like he said, students, cheap way. Most of the people there are younger people. And so they're not normally... And they are more that hippie vibe, again, at least here in the United States. And again, the ones I've been to. And I will even preface that saying I've always been a big pothead, and I've always been into psychedelic use. So I've always seeked out hostels and stuff around that. So I might even be biased in what I'm saying.
Right.
And I understand that. But most of it is very much that hippie culture that I've been to, which is they're more just down, like share a joint with them and you're cool. There's a lot of poor students traveling around for cheap in the United States. So they're just, they're not really worried about the money per se or trying to rob somebody, or they're just trying to, have some fun in life at that time in their life, basically. So I don't know. I've never, the worst I've seen is some bad trips on some psychedelics. But again, the hosts are pretty cool about handling anything. I've never had any issues personally, and I've not done it a ton. I mean, it's just been an option I've used occasionally to travel for cheap.
Right, which is very, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's a completely different world, like from what I've done. I mean, the first time me and my wife ever well, even myself included. I mean, like obviously, like I've slept on friends' couches, you know what I mean, and
Mhm.
I've went to parties, and woke up at somebody's house or something, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff. But as far as like actually doing it on purpose, or traveling, or do something like that, I will say I think my very first time of doing something like that was actually Airbnb. So for those of you that are listening to the podcast that might not be really too familiar on Airbnb, which I know is pretty popular now, but I mean, it's kind of the exact same principle, I feel like, but more of like somebody renting
It
out a
came from
room
that.
in their house or whatever. I mean, it's
Literally,
pretty much
yeah, literally the guys that started that, they were basically already doing couch surfing and then they started this. And that's what I say. That's why I said I haven't done a lot of hostels and stuff, because the moment Airbnb came out, I was probably one of the first users on it. I mean I remember being able to rent a whole house for like or get a I mean I used to rent rooms off there for 10-15 bucks a night. You can't even hardly do that now on Airbnb. The prices have gone up to match a lot of hotels basically. But I remember
right,
used to get really nice houses for like 40-50 bucks a night.
right.
Ones that now cost 250 or something a night. Also real
Yep.
quick, just Alex says I feel you got to choose right, being in tons of hostels in the US too, and none were nearly drug houses. He. Well, like I said, I mean, again, he says, and just filter by rating. Yeah, you can filter by rating on all these sites, just like Amazon has reviews or Airbnb has reviews. Hostels have reviews, and so do the couch surfing websites. But again, and that's why I said I might be biased because I don't really smoke as much anymore, but I was a big
Right.
stoner and a big psychedelic user, so I would find locations that you know people in the reviews and stuff were saying that stuff was fine. But again, my point wasn't that they were big drug places, because outside of those two, you didn't see a lot of other drugs. Um,
Hokage's comment. I just thought you misspelled hotel.
yeah, no, hostile.
That's
It's a
funny. I
different
know.
thing. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
just to answer that.
hilarious.
So you might be right completely. And again, I've only maybe stayed in 3 to 5 hostels and couch surfed, I don't know, 5 couches. Like I haven't done it a ton. Like I wasn't trying to give the exception that I'm an expert at it.
Right.
But
No, no,
but
no.
I've done it.
I totally get it. No, I totally get it. I mean, this is it's just interesting. Like I said, I mean, I think it was me and my wife going to Florida, Panama, Florida for the first time. And yeah, I mean, that was the first time we've ever used an Airbnb. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely scared shitless. Like the Airbnb was super, super nice. It was a beach house, you know what I mean? Like and it wasn't like it was just the room, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, so there was an older lady, an older guy, they both ran a bar, you mean, local bar,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, they had like three like, so it was a weird house, right, it was just like a house, and it was basically 4 rooms, so there was like 4 rooms, straight down, like one big hallway down the center of the house, right, living room, kitchen on either side, and then one big hallway. And they rented out the other 3 rooms, so it was her and her husband, and then the kitchenette was free open game. They made breakfast, they made dinner and lunch all at the house, and then the other time they were at the bar. They
Okay.
had free beer. Everything was complimentary. You could literally do everything. It literally cost me and my wife per night to stay there was like $42. It
Yeah.
was like dirt cheap on
Yep.
on the ocean. Oh, I mean, it was beautiful, beautiful. But don't get me wrong, and I was scared shitless. I mean, I had my 9mm pistol with me. I locked the door. I put shit in front of the door. I mean, I was literally like just panicked because I never have stayed with somebody random. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, maybe because I don't know. All growing up, I didn't grow up, in the nicest of places, as far as, like my mom being hooked on drugs, I mean, and all that kind of stuff, so I grew up around a lot of, I mean, shady, violent, kind of like, individuals, growing up. And I don't know, I have that, I have that shadow on my shoulder, that's always kind of like, like trying to actively, prevent something from happening, so it's very interesting to hear that side of the things, like you're kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
a more open to that sort of thing, you know what I mean? And that's cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Again, it goes with every. I mean, I'm just a very. I No, I guess I just figure 99% of people are okay, and I guess the 1% that might kill me, I guess they're gonna kill. I'm not gonna let them stop me from hanging out with the other 99% of cool people.
Right.
So again, it's just
Right.
go back to the social thing. I just always like meeting people, hanging out with people, meeting new people, and they provide a great way to do that. You can meet some really interesting people.
Hmm.
at
Oh
those
yeah.
type of places.
No, and again, just to verify that too, we can dive more into that next week if somebody asks a question. But basically, no, I mean, my experience was, was absolutely wonderful. I mean, when we left, they gave me a 6-pack of craft beer from the local brewery that he had on tap. I mean, so they gave me like a 6-pack of that. The guy was super, super nice, down to earth. Every night we came home, it was super late. They were always up in the, the living room in the common area, the owners of the house talking to us, asking us questions, giving us tips and stuff, what our plans were for the next day. I mean, don't get me wrong. They were super, super chill. And if going back, if I could have done it differently, knowing, what I know now, which obviously isn't the case, then yeah, I feel like we could have had a lot more, better experience with them. Like if we were open to it, like if I would have like sat in the common area and talked to them and chatted, and hung out with them, versus like kind of just like oh, hey, hi, yep, we're going to the beach, or hey, yeah, we're going to do this, bye. That's pretty much how.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to that. But that's
but
what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Most of the people that do this, they're doing it because they like meeting new people. Like most of the people that are just renting out rooms and stuff, they're not making a ton of money off it. I mean, they might make some and it might help, but a lot of times it ends up being people that just really like meeting new people and stuff. Or else why would you have strangers in your actual house with you?
Or helping strangers. Maybe they do it because they know that people don't want to pay, $200 a night to stay on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah, very interesting. I saw some chat boxes here. Some of them went away. If you want to catch up a little bit.
The only thing I see is Hokage says, "Would you consider reacting to some anime on stream?" I really don't watch anime very much anymore. I mean, the only time I ever watch anything anime related, I know I said I used to be real big into it, and that was true. I used to watch nothing but anime. I just don't anymore. I don't know if it's just age or what. I mean, I still think there's plenty. I mean, every once in a while, like a friend recommends a show, and I find it great. But just with a wife and kids, like anime is not normally our first pick anymore. And then outside of that, the biggest reason like for reacting to it on stream isn't even that per se. It's the fact of just everything with copyright stuff is getting crazy, not just on like YouTube and stuff anymore, but even on like Twitch on live streams, and like people are getting hit left and right for copyright stuff. And I mean, I uploaded a video the other day, a recap gaming video to YouTube, and it literally had 3 seconds of like a song in it, which I thought you could do. I thought as long as it was like under 10 seconds or something, and it was like in like, not that wasn't the sole content, but it was like you were using it for like a meme in a video, like in a gaming video per se. I thought that was fine, but they flagged it immediately, copyright ID'd it, took the full monetization of that video. So I just the like, especially this last year, I've really gotten away from playing or using anything that is copyrighted. All the music I use on stream now is copyright free. All the graphics I use for any videos and stuff is copyright free. Like, it's just, they're getting crazy, man. Like, that's just the truth. It's just getting crazier and crazier.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to be on it's not worth it to me because, again, I've dealt with issues in the past of getting an account banned and stuff. I've just realized that for me, it's just not worth it to even take that small chance of something getting me banned. It's just not for me.
Nope. I totally, I totally would agree with that. See, I have not, I personally haven't had any copyright, issues whatsoever. The worst thing that happens with me is I've had so many videos where I upload them, drop my thumbnail in, and then for whatever reason, YouTube gets rid of my thumbnail. You know what I mean? And I guess, well, okay, let me rephrase that. The term "for whatever reason," I know the damn reason. Do you know what I mean? It's not for whatever reason. It's normally because, some risque anime chick from some, mobile anime game or something. I mean, that I post on there.
Right,
what I mean? And some of them, the craziest part is some of them that I've gotten away with that didn't, get, marked as anything or flagged as anything, or for whatever reason, those are still on there and still running, you mean what I mean? But for whatever reason, some of the other ones that I did not think were anywhere close. I mean, the girl's wearing full clothes. You can just see the outline of curves, you know what I mean, in different directions. You know what I mean? Just got, I mean, for whatever reason, ban hammered like hard. Like I posted the first one. it got removed. So then I went in, changed the character up, put it back in there, boom, instantly removed, changed it up. I mean, I did this, on repeat one time. I think I must have made 5 thumbnails on a lunch break because I couldn't, for whatever freaking reason, I couldn't get the damn thing to accept one of the thumbnails. And even though it had nothing, in my opinion, nothing bad on it, but
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
But
that
never
I've not
a
had an
copyright
issue
thing.
with because nothing I do tends to be risque or anything.
Yeah, so you're not clickbaiting your videos hard enough.
I mean, mine would be clickbaited pretty hard if I had like a sexy anime chick on there, and then they click on the video, and I'm talking about how to install OBS or like some tutorial for OBS. I'm pretty sure my watch time would just tank.
Listen, I got a plan. Here's what you do. You just make sure that the person or that the image that you put in there is in the video. So then you just need a green screener behind you as you're telling your stuff.
That used to be a big thing on YouTube. People used to, back in the day, they would literally, YouTube, before you could do thumbnails, they used to take the very middle frame of your video, and that was your thumbnail. So people would insert images, just a random image into the middle of their video for just a frame. So you'd be watching a video, and this frame would pop up for like a split of a second and then disappear. And they used to do all kinds of stuff to clickbait. Like, I mean, it would be like naked women and stuff, and just to get people to click on. Because back then they didn't have the algorithm they have now. So like, just getting anybody to click on your video. Like back then, CTR was everything. There wasn't watch time. It was just what thumbnail can get the most clicks, and that's all you. So literally, you just had people stuffing these videos with this single frame. This 1 second of this image and you'd be watching a video not even related to like a naked, like it'd be like a tutorial on something, but there'd be a naked woman in the middle of this tutorial. Like, it used to be, it was funny. It used to be a thing.
Dude, I would purposely tune into people's content just so I can find out what the naked woman image was. That would literally be the only reason why I would tune into the content. I wouldn't care about the tutorial whatsoever. I'd be like, look, I just gotta wait to that middle frame to hit that image real quick.
Well, I mean, you would see it in the thumbnail, but yeah, I guess you mean a bigger version.
Yeah, no, I was just, that's funny.
Yeah.
Hokage posted something else on here. What's he got on here?
He's just recommending some anime stuff. I mean, I can read it, but I read it to myself, basically. It wasn't like a question or anything.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, so then we'll dive into the
chat. So if you have anything
else, we'll dive in. Yeah. Let's dive in here real quick. So another question or another thing that I got here that I always find is an interesting icebreaker here is one thing is have you ever been arrested? It would be part of the question, and you can pass on that or not answer that question. Or the second part of that would be, what is the craziest thing you've ever done in general? Like, and I know everybody's crazy is different, but what would you say is the absolute, like, what the hell was going on at that point in my life?
Craziest?
Yep. Just like if you were, like I said, if you were looking back on it right now, you know what I mean? Like you don't know, like you have no clue. You're like, I don't understand why I was there, what happened or nothing like that. But I know for a fact that this is what happened or whatever.
Yeah, I would like, well, let me answer the first question. Yes, I've been arrested. Not like arrested meaning I've been picked up by cops and taken to a holding cell. And then have to,
wait a trial or
well, not even wait a trial, but have to get taken home. Mainly for car related stuff. When I was younger, I got my license. I got a underage DUI. I was 19. Okay. I got pulled over. I was at a friend's house. We were playing video games, Skyrim, the original Morrowind. Playing it on PC, it was like the coolest thing because this guy had it on PC, and at the time everybody else was playing it on like the Xbox because we didn't have PC strong enough to do it. And I literally had half of a mixed drink. Like, they made mixed drinks for everybody. I was 19 years old. I drank half the glass and drove home. Wasn't drunk at all, but it was late at night, like 2, 3 in the morning. Got pulled over by a statey. He came up to the window. He's like, "Oh yeah, you've been, like basically just." I was a dumb 19-year-old. I didn't know any better. But he asked me
Fishing
yeah,
is what he's
fishing.
doing.
And he asked, and trying to be like thinking like, oh, if you're honest, you'll stay out of trouble. And so I told him, I'm like, I had half a mixed drink at a friend's house. I'm like, I said, I'm not drunk or anything. I'm like, it was just half a. And then because I was under 21, he ended up taking me in.
Yep.
So he ended up taking me in. He gave me a breath analyzer once we got to the station. If you're at least here in Ohio, the legal limit if you're over 21 is 0.08. If you're under 21, the legal limit is 0.02. I blew a 0.021. And they gave me an underage DUI for it. So it was just a Stady being a dick, honestly. So I lost my license for a while. Well, then I kept driving without a license. So I got arrested a couple more times for like driving on a suspended license, and because I kept driving around because I had to go to work and shit. Like, I don't know, there wasn't really like even that. I had to go to the court once a month to check in because I got parole for the underage DUI.
That's
so like I had to so I would literally drive without a license to the court that suspended my license to check in every month. Else you go to jail. Man. Like, they don't really give you any options because, like, if you don't go, you go to jail. It was a 30-minute drive. I'm not walking for, like, 5 hours to go there once a month. So, I don't know. It's stupid the way they do it. But anyways, that's another story. But anyway, so yes, I've been arrested mainly for that.
So what's the second part of the question here? What about craziest thing? Like, just, yeah, craziest thing.
Jeez. The craziest thing I think that ever happened to me was... One time I gave this lady a ride home from work. I was young. I was like 19. I was working at a call center for sales, doing sales.
Okay.
And this older woman there needed a ride home, was asking people to give her a ride home in the office. I agreed. It was this old Greek woman. And I mean like 350 pounds, 350 pounds, old Greek woman. Begging people to give her a ride. I felt bad. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a ride. So I gave her a ride home. Then she came into work and was like so thankful and like kept bugging me all day. And when I say older, I mean, she wasn't like super, like let's say I was 19, 20, that age, 18 to 20, somewhere in that range. She was probably like mid 40s. I don't know. But so was like, old, super,
cougar old.
Yeah. But like, super like, I'm so appreciative, and like begged me to let her make me dinner to like thank me for doing it. And I've always had a hard time for most, not anymore I don't, but especially when I was younger, I used to have a hard time telling people no. So I finally agreed just to kind of get over it. And basically she, I'm going to say it. She kind of raped me a bit, but not like 100% rape. But like
Me Too movement.
# like she basically like jumped on me like, and she was again, like when I was 19, I was like 6'1" and like a scrawny tech nerd gamer kid. So think of like Mike and Ike today. I hope he hears this somehow. But no, just kidding. I'm just kidding, Mike. But anyways, so like she like basically like sat on me, like tried to rip off my pants, ended up like doing stuff to me. It was a crazy night, dude. It was crazy. So that would be like the craziest thing that ever happened. Like I had to call the police on her, like to get her out of my house. Like she turned like full, like it was like this older woman that worked that was like super thankful for me giving her a ride, and like real quick it turned to like this crazy psycho lady. That then after I called the police and kicked her, like had them like I had to have the police remove her from my apartment. I was living on my own in my own apartment at the time. Had to have her remove them from my apartment. She then showed back up at my apartment later, keyed my car. So then I like went running out with a baseball bat.
What?
Like get off my, like she's keying my car out there. Like one of the neighbors called me and like somebody's out there keying your car. So I like run out with a baseball bat. Well, then she went to the police station and like said I tried to kill her with a baseball bat. So then the police came back. It was crazy, man. It was a whole, I mean, that's the basic story of it, but it
Oh
was
my
it was
gosh,
it is
dude.
still to this day one of the craziest experiences of my life. Like this 40-something-year-old basically tried to rape me, and again, and I don't mean like to downplay. Like she basically just tried to force things on me that I didn't want, and I had to eventually call the police to get her out of my house.
Prince.
But yeah,
That's a
that's
great
definitely probably the
Karen.
craziest thing that ever happened to me. All just because I was trying to be nice and give an older lady like a ride home because she was like begging everyone for a ride home. And like it turned into like super psycho. Like then like it got even crazier. Afterwards, like after that. So after like we called the police, like she called the police and I like she scratched my car. Yeah, I came out of my house with a baseball bat. Da 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 da. They ended up like filing like a restraining order against her or whatever. So she couldn't come to my house. I couldn't go to hers. Then she like showed up at my dad's. She like somehow found out, like she didn't even know my dad was a pastor, but like found out and like went to it, showed up at his church thinking I was gonna be there. I did not go to church at that time in my life, but like thought like for some reason I was gonna be there and like went and talked to my dad and like told him. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. I
So
don't
then,
even
okay,
know
we got
exactly what
we gotta
happened, to
ask.
be honest.
I'll say so. We gotta ask questions then. So like, how did the whole work situation go afterwards? Like when you went back to work, like how did that go?
I didn't. I quit the job. It was that
This
crazy. Like she was like she went full stalker mode. I left. I never went back again. Like she went full
no,
stalker.
dude,
100%, dude. For
that's
for for a
crazy.
year after that, up to like a year after, maybe not quite a year, but like at least a good 6 months to a year, she would still randomly find me at places and like be like crazy. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like I like am struggling for words, not because like I'm like I'm not trying to hide a thing or all. Like I literally have no idea how to explain it. Like I've never had somebody. Well, I've had one other chick that was kind of psycho, but I've never had like that random stalker thing ever happen to me. I mean, again, I was a geeky computer nerd kid. I mean, I wasn't. I mean, I had girlfriends and stuff. I mean, like enough, but I wasn't like a big baller out there. It was just weird for me, man. I don't know. I still don't know how to explain it today. It was the weirdest ass thing ever, I would say.
So what
I don't
was
know.
the verdict? So what was the last thing that happened with her? I mean, she just disappeared and you just never ran into her or have issues with her again, or what? I mean, what happened? There was nothing that went further with like the restraining order. That was just the extent of any like law getting involved, and then you just pretty much dealt
You
with the
know,
rest of it on your own.
I don't remember exactly how it finally. I think she just finally stopped. Like I just avoided anytime if I would see her or something, I would just avoid her or something. Like if she ran into like if I ran into her at a public place or I found out she was following me, I would just get in my car and leave. Like I didn't really. Again, I was never one to like get there and get in the screaming match with someone and be like, "You're fucking stalking me." Like I just would try to get myself out of the situation as fast as possible. Um,
Right. No, I get that, but that's still like a
but I
life.
don't
That's
know,
still like
man.
a
I don't
life
know.
commitment. Like you're this chick is just trailing you, and you're constantly looking out for her. And then once you see her, you're like, oh, this. I can no longer
Yeah,
enjoy
I
whatever
don't.
I'm doing here today. I
Yeah.
gotta go leave.
I mean, it didn't happen like crazily. I just mean there was a couple more times where, like, throughout the next couple, that like she would just randomly, like, she showed up at my apartment a couple times randomly. I just didn't open the door. Like, I didn't answer it. She would be standing outside banging on my door for like an hour straight. I don't know, man. I think I blocked a lot of that shit out because it was kind of fucking crazy, dude. Like, it was legit kind of
That's
fucking
so
crazy, man.
strange, dude.
I don't even know, dude. Like, honest to God, I might have blocked some of it out because shit was crazy, man. I've never experienced anything like that before or
Dude, that's
since in my life.
insane. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that was like the craziest thing. I mean, that's like not even on the list of spectrum that I thought you were gonna come out with. I was like, this guy's probably gonna come out with something just pretty plain and simple, like the mailman delivered my mail to the wrong house or something. Like,
Yeah,
and the guy
no.
was naked when I
I
opened the
mean,
door.
I
Like, I
I
was
have a
thinking something like
lot of
that, but
crazy ass
geez.
stories. I mean, most of them were probably my fault. I mean, I was a little shit back in the day, man. Again, I think I've mentioned it on the stream and stuff before. My life really didn't change till I hit about 30 and went through a pretty bad depressive episode, which then kind of caused me to get my life on track. And so my life was always a lot of drugs, a lot of uh, crazy shit happen, a lot of trouble with the law. I wasn't a very good kid, honestly, or even young adult. But that
Right.
was just, I mean, that was fucking, she was just a crazy stalker bitch.
Yeah, but you know why that was? You know why that was right? Like why you were like that? It's
Uh,
because of the rumor. Because of the rumor.
the
You
rumor.
know, pastors'
Oh,
kids. They,
yeah, yeah.
that's like a thing. You know, they always say, like the pastor's kids. You know what I mean? They're always the naughtiest for whatever reason. I don't know why or where that actually started. From. And I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I'm just saying. I was just joking. But
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
you always hear. Pastors'
No, no,
kids are
yeah,
the
it's probably
worst or
true. I don't
whatever.
know. I don't know. But yeah, I was a little hellion. Princess says, I think that's smart. She sounds psychotic. She was definitely psychotic. Princess says, well, this is your lesson on why you shouldn't be nice to people. I'm still nice to people. I just learned to be a little more cautious with especially like members of the opposite sex, I guess. But
That's pretty cool. But the last question I have on here for you, unless if anybody else has so many additional ones to ask you, but the last question that I have for you, that I'd like to finish up my question session with you is, so speaking on first jobs and stuff, I want to know your job adventures from the day you were old enough to get a job or work and make money. So I don't want I don't want the mowing the grass at 12 or 13, but as far as like you actually 15 probably is a typical, I think, for most states,
yeah, yeah.
working there for your first job, and then basically just build me up to speed. I mean, to where I know you're not employed right now besides content creation, but what did you do? What was your trip?
Um, yeah, I started at McDonald's.
Okay.
I worked at McDonald's for like a year and I got fired because me and another person put a bunch of hand sanitizer on a line on the floor and then lit it on fire. And then we were on the roof smoking weed, so we got fired from there.
Typical McDonald's stuff. Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
understand.
So then I went to Arby's, which was a decent job, but it didn't pay a lot. So then after Arby's, that was while I was in college. I got into sales. So I worked for, I don't know if anybody remembers the long distance phone company MCI. Their
Yep, yep,
sales
yep, yep.
headquarters was actually here in Ohio. So I worked from there, and I got into sales jobs because I made a lot of money doing it. I was always pretty good. Again, I just like now I'm pretty talkative and stuff. Like you have a pretty good personality for sales, so it suited me well. And in the
Yep.
area I live in, it was kind of the career that allowed you to make any kind of decent money. Um, so yeah, I went to that. That closed down, and then I went to another sales marketing job, which is where the crazy lady was, and did that for a while. Then after that fell through, there wasn't a lot of other like call centers in our area. They kind of all went out of the area. So then I switched to factory work for a while. I worked at a place
Okay.
called Craft Made, which does like the craft made cabinetries. That's here in Ohio. Like they're pretty
Craft
popular.
made
Craft made,
cabinetry.
they're like kitchen cabinets, but they're called
Oh, okay,
craft
okay,
made.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was thinking for whatever. I was thinking. Well, I don't know why I was thinking food. Okay, never mind.
Oh
I get what
yeah.
you're saying. Yeah, yeah. I got you.
So I worked there for a while doing that. I didn't love it, so I left there. I tried a couple other factories, didn't love it, left there. Then I got into internet marketing, which was my first
Okay.
company I did. I did internet marketing for probably like from the time I want to say like 20 to like 25 ish, 24 ish. I did that till
Can I
again
interrupt you
the
for 2 seconds? What
sure.
brought you to internet marketing from coming from like factory work?
Well, again, growing up and stuff, I was always. I mean, we got a computer. I think my dad got our first computer when I was 6 or 7 or maybe 8. I don't know, but pretty young. And I
Okay.
just fell in love with computers. I've always been on computers and gaming. Um, it just wasn't a there wasn't a field in Ohio. There wasn't really tech stuff in Ohio. I mean, there's still not a lot of. And so the internet started becoming to the place where money was starting to be made on the internet. And
Okay.
so it just kind of went hand in hand. I love doing it. I found out you could make money online doing stuff. And boom. So it just kind of it happened accidentally, honestly. I just started fooling around making like websites. I used to do a lot of coding, PHP, HTML. People started, I'd make websites. I was on internet forums chatting with people. People found out I was pretty good at it. They started asking me to do it for them. They started paying me to do it for them. Like at first I just did it for free. Then people started like I got so many requests that basically people started paying me to jump over other people to get their stuff done first. Um, and it just kind of compounded. And then I got to the point where I realized like I was building a lot of websites and stuff for other internet marketers who were like making affiliate, because back in the day you didn't have ads on like Facebook and stuff. You had like websites, and then you bought ads on Google and pointed them to a website, so people would make like affiliate websites.
Yep.
And so when I realized what they were doing, I just said, well, why don't I just make them my own websites and do this and make the money myself? And so I was actually working at a factory, another factory, a steel mill, and we got laid off. They shut down because steel went out of Ohio as well. And when they shut down, I was on unemployment, making like $200 a month. I was freshly married to my high school sweetheart. She had a daughter, and I needed to make money, and I was like, fuck. So I was just like, again, I was making some money doing that for people. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna try to make my own. And I like made my own, and it worked. It just, people started signing up for the affiliate offer. I was making more money than I was spending on ads on Google, and it just took off from there. And before I knew it, I was making, $30,000-$40,000 a month from it, and traveling all over the world to Miami and places, and spending it all on strip clubs and cocaine and alcohol. And it just kind of took off on its own.
Interesting.
Just kind of because of my knowledge of computers and stuff my whole life, and coding specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. And then after that, I went through a bad divorce with my first wife, and I basically fell into depression, and let that business fall apart. So then I tried to go back into like the regular work field. So I didn't want to go back to a factory. So I went into retail. I figured I'd try that out, and I decided to. So I became a assistant manager at a Dollar General, and I hated that. I thought, this is horrible. So I literally one day I just couldn't take it anymore, and I handed the store manager, my keys and walked out. Said I'm done, and went and put an ad in the paper for electrical work, and started doing residential and commercial electrical work.
Without electrical license, or did you have one?
No, I didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I did that, and then
Is that illegal or what? I'm confused here.
Probably, I don't know.
Okay.
So I did that. So I basically then started up my own electrical business, and did that for like 4 or 5 years. And then I transitioned from there to the job that I just lost. They were looking for an electrician. I was kind of tired of doing electrical work because it was owning my own business. It was a lot of hours. I'd basically work, 7, 8 in the morning till 4 or 5 in the evening, and then I'd have to do like estimates and stuff all evening long for other jobs. So I was just kind of burnt out, and it wasn't something I loved doing either. So when this opportunity came around, where this company approached me saying they needed someone that knew electrical, that was also kind of, tech smart and stuff, just kind of fit, and they offered me really good pay to join them, and I was with them for 7, 8 years, somewhere 7, 8 years, until, because of COVID, I just lost that job. But plus, it gave me other benefits besides money. The main being travel. I got to start traveling a lot more with them and stuff, and that's
Gotcha.
kind of it. So I've done a lot of different stuff, man. I've worked at a lot of different jobs. I get bored with stuff pretty easily, so I switch a lot.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I know you get bored.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool, man. Yeah, that's a very interesting story. Like I said, I mean, I don't know what questions I'm going to have come my way, so I don't want to dive too deep into my situations and stuff. But yeah, dude, it's very, very cool, man. I don't know about you, man, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know if you want to cut it here, if we want to still ask questions or what. I mean, we've been going for 2 hours now. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if that's your
I'm
questions
for
or whatever, that's fine with me. I'll just catch up on chat then. Princess says, "Oh my God, me and my friend Megan did that at work. Laughing my ass off. She developed a weird obsession with hand sanitizer and lit the counter on fire. Laughing my ass off. I mean, I didn't have a weird obsession with it, Princess. I literally just, me and a buddy we I don't even remember how we like realized that it was flammable, but we were like, oh shit. So we were like, oh, it would be cool to make a line of it and light it and then like watch it. So we did. And again, I don't even think that was really what got us in. I think that was the icing on the cake. The main thing that got us fired was going up on the roof smoking weed while we were on shift, because I was working like the night shift. So yeah, that was the main thing, because we went up on the roof. But
Interesting.
and then Yearly Man says, any good local co-op games for Xbox One? Oh fuck, dude. You think I remember that from Xbox One? You know what? There was a super fun party game on Xbox One I remember playing all the time. There was this one match where you were like in these little cage balls as players. You had to try to knock each other off the platform into like the water or fire or something. But I have no idea what the fuck it was called.
Wait. When he's saying Xbox One, is that the?
Oh, wait. I'm thinking of the original Xbox. Yeah, the newest one. I haven't console games since Xbox. I had a 360 for about 3 months, and then I got a gaming PC, and I never have touched a console since then, outside of a Nintendo Switch.
So Yearly Man, I guess the only thing that I could throw at you would be so I actually own an Xbox One X, and I own the original Xbox One when it launched. And I have played a lot of co-op games. I don't know. I mean, that would be hard. I mean, that would be really, really hard to pick and choose what are really, really good. I mean, and I guess when you say co-op, are you only referring to, you and another player? You know what I mean? So you're not referring to, like there's other players.
Fusion Frenzy. Sorry, that's what it's called. Alex D says, I know that game. Don't remember the name. Oh, he just said it at the same time as me.
Yep,
Fusion Frenzy. Yeah, I just Googled it. Yeah, that funny. Shit was a blast, man.
But no, you're like I said, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, some really good ones would be like, is it Revenant? I think that's one, or Revelant. I can't remember what the actual name is, but I played through that one. That one was really fun, with co-op, kind of challenging at times. But I mean, there's a handful of them. I mean, you would probably have to just, I don't know, open that up in Discord or something, hop into Derek's Discord down below in the description.
Yeah, the only Xbox game I really played like hard. I mean, I played Halo 1. Like we did LAN parties. Like we would get we all would grab our CRT TVs, load them in our cars, our Xbox Ones. We'd hook all those bitches together, and we'd all play Halo. We'd go to Perkins and sit around and smoke. You used to be able to smoke back in Perkins, like just sitting in there smoking cigarettes. So we'd smoke, eat food, and then we'd all go play Halo at somebody's house, LAN party style. And we'd have like 16 of us all playing Halo.
Dude, when I was in a side note though, when I was in college, we not Halo, but gaming PCs. People still do that to this day, by the way. They have LAN parties and they don't play on their equipment. So what they do is they'll come in on like a Thursday or a Friday, right? And Best Buy, by the way, anybody listen to this is not my idea. I do not claim ownership to this. But Best Buy has a 14-day return policy, no hassle free return policy. And so what ended up happening is I used to work at Geek Squad, for those that don't know, but basically, and this still happens to this day, we would have like 5 guys come in, right? And they would pick up and buy like whatever the top gaming laptop is right off the shelf, right? And then they'd buy like 5 or 6 Ethernet cables, do you know what I mean? And then buy like, TVs or, whatever they were going to, do. And then they would go home on that Thursday or Friday, and then over the weekend have like a massive LAN party, you know what I mean? And then on Monday or Tuesday, they'd have one person come back with like 12, gaming laptops, with all the shit that they had bought, and return it all because Best Buy has a 14-day guaranteed return policy. Whether you just don't like the item, not satisfied, whatever, you don't have to do anything. There's no hassles. You could bring anything back to the store and get your money, even like buyer's remorse. It doesn't matter. And that's literally what people do all the time from our local colleges here. They would literally go and buy the top of the line gaming PC, download League of Legends or whatever game they're playing, grind out on it for the weekend, and then return it all.
That's funny.
Yep. And then, Best Buy loses all that money because then they have to turn around and sell it out as a, open box item. Yep.
That's funny. That's funny. Hokage says, by the way, for next week, where is the questions thing? I had trouble finding it. I asked in the Discord, and I also put it on my Twitter. So you should be able to find it on my Twitter or on the Discord. Or you can DM me questions, or you can just bring them with you, dude, and like ask in the chat. I mean, I'm pretty good at, I mean, unlike Codations, I see all the chats right here on my main screen.
Yep.
So I have no issues being able to see anybody's chat that they're saying. Sometimes I don't respond to you guys right away, but that's just because like me and him's going back and forth. But I see everything the moment you guys post it, whether you realize I do or not. I just don't always respond right away. So honestly, for those that are already here that might have questions for Codations for his next week, I would just say bring them with you, honestly. I'll have questions. I'll start asking him questions, and then I'll just pull questions from you guys as you guys ask them. That I would say that would probably be the best.
I think that's the best. I really like the way that went tonight. I mean, because I mean, I had what, I don't know, 7 to 10 questions, out that we elaborated on. And for the most part, I don't know, I enjoy when they were throwing questions out, because it kind of just adds on to the comment. And not only that, this is for them, I mean, they want to ask the questions that they want to know. So
yeah, well, I'm going to be completely selfish, and I'm only asking, I mean, all the questions I come up with are going to be for me. To ask you of things I'm curious.
Oh, that's
about.
totally fine. Yeah, so, no, that's totally fine.
Well, so they got to bring their own.
Yeah. I guess that's what I was. I guess I want to rephrase that. My questions that I asked you, or obviously questions that I was interested in asking you that I didn't know the answer to for the most part, But yeah, no, I thought it was fun. I mean, I enjoy learning more about you and knowing more. And like I said, not only that, I mean, the stream and viewers and everybody else get to know more about you too. So not just diving into whatever crazy topics we come up with every single video.
Right. Yeah. Which I enjoy the topics too. So it's all fun.
Oh, yeah.
We're just, I mean, this is what, I think this is episode, I think this is our 11th podcast of the OMG podcast. So, I mean, we're still figuring it out. We're still
episodes already.
I think this is the 11th. I can double check real quick if you give me 2 seconds here to pull it up and see. Yeah, this is episode 11 of the OMG It's Derek podcast. I know you missed 1 or 2 where I think Wolf filled in, or no, Wolf filled in 1, and I think Barb filled in 1. So for you, it might be why you don't realize it's 11. But I think the rest of them you were
still
all here.
Though that's still crazy. So like,
yeah,
9,
it is crazy.
I mean, that's still crazy.
Yep. So yeah, you've been here 9 out of the 11. But yeah, I believe this is the 11th one. So, but we're still, that's what I said, we're figuring it out. We still got to figure out your camera though. That is definitely something I think, like I said, I don't know any other way to do it other than you streaming it somewhere, but we'll figure that out.
Yeah. We just have to get that. I was gonna say, we have to get that HD coming through. Cause I don't know. Yeah, I want to look more like you.
I agree.
Not you.
Well, a lot of that's the lighting. I mean, I'm very evenly lit, which you can definitely tell like you're not, which is not a bad, but I'm saying I mean, I have 2 huge soft boxes, which are then reflect. So I'm getting a beam of light from a big soft box like this that is hitting my whole, all the way up and down on both sides of me. Where yours, I think, because you said they're so small, are probably more spot oriented than they're going to be fill.
Right, but I'm just meaning like the quality that I see in my OBS versus the quality that comes through Zoom is completely different.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, and that's what I said. I think if you like streamed it to like a Twitch or something, a secret page, or you might even be able to do private streams where then you can share the URL to only a single person. I'm not sure. I think they have some things like that. But either way, we'll figure it out. But I think that'll be more on your end of having to set up an account to stream to that then I can pull it from.
Right, which would be fine.
But with that said, then I think that's it for tonight's podcast. Again, that was these are this one and next week's are kind of special. AMA, Ask Us Anything, Codations next week. Then we'll probably be back to like topics or whatever else we figure out. But again, if you guys have any questions for Codations for next week, bring those with you. If anybody has anything else they want to say now, you got a couple seconds here to hurry up and get it in the chat before we end. But I think that's going to be it. Anything you want to wrap up with or anything, Codations? You want to throw out any of your handles, where people can find you?
Of course
on the interwebs. And all that.
Yeah, man, anybody that's listening to the podcast, as always, I do mobile gaming content, so I cover a variety of different mobile games. We've got I'm super excited for some of the mobile games that we have coming up, like the new Diablo Immortal game. So I don't know if you're going to check that out, D, on mobile or not, but I'm super excited for that. And then, you can find me at Codations, so youtube.com/Codations. I do have a Twitter as well. You can join me over there, and that is Codations, as well as a private Discord that goes with my YouTube. YouTube. So, but yeah, like I said, I do all pretty much mobile gaming content. And then, yeah, other than that, I do the podcast as well here on Derek. Most of the time, me and D are the host. We try to co-host it together for the most part. But yeah, like I said, there's times where I can't fill in. But other than that, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yep. And for everybody on the interwebs trying to find me, the best way to do that is just to go to my website, omgitsderek.com. There'll be links to all my socials, my YouTube channels, my Discord channels, my photography stuff. Everything's pretty much on there. It's kind of my one-stop shop for everything. So that's definitely the best way to find me. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. And to finish us off, Princess asks one last question. Who's your favorite Power Ranger? Yo, we can both answer this one. Definitely Red. Like, I hate to be like that guy, but definitely Red for me. Definitely Red.
Listen, I'm 100% mainstream, and that is going to be the White Ranger. I mean, that just hands down. White Ranger, the center guy, I forget his damn name. What was his name back in the day? Justin, wasn't that his name?
Wait, wasn't the red guy the center guy until the white showed up?
What?
Wasn't the red the original guy until the white showed up?
I don't think so.
Because I think forgetting.
It might be. I'm pretty sure that it was Justin though was his name, but it was like he was like, I mean, he was white, but then he had like, you know, like the gold, you know, trim on his chest and everything, you know, and I'm pretty sure
I remember him.
Original. I'm pretty sure he was in the original.
I don't think he was. So I'm looking now. The original had red, yellow, blue, pink, and black.
Okay, so then maybe it is the same. Maybe it is the same Ranger then, technically. But my favorite one, well, never mind. You're older than me though, so that makes sense because you when you came into Power Rangers, it was probably red. When I started watching Power Rangers, it was the white. And
but I still think red was the main one. Is all I was saying. I don't think white was ever the main Power Ranger. I'm saying red was the main Power Ranger.
In the Power Ranger movie? I'm pretty sure the original Power Rangers movie, like VHS tape, was.
I don't. Let me see that. I mean, I started with the Power Rangers movie, 1995, right? Was it the?
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you this: on the cover, the main guy right in the middle. Oh no, it is. Wait, I think it is the.
That the one that's at the very top is not the actual cover.
Yeah. Wait, which one is?
If you go to images, go to images right now. Yeah, so go to images, and it's the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on IMDb. The dead center one right there. The red one is also still in that movie. So you've got blue, red, pink, yellow,
small?
And then black, and then the gold one. And then the Ranger, Gold Ranger in the center.
Yeah, see, I watched the series. I don't before the movie. So
okay, yep.
But still, was he the main or did he come into it? I still don't think he was the main character in that movie. Unless I'm remembering wrong.
No, he was.
I think he was like the cool guy that appeared and helped them. But the main was, I still thought red. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Someone in chat tell us. Somebody tell us who the main Power Ranger was.
I don't know. All I know is I can tell you right now, the only Ranger that I went as Halloween as a kid that I've got pictures of is that Ranger, is the white/gold Ranger. That was the one that as a kid, I don't even know how old I was, 5, 6. That was the Ranger that I was.
All right. Well, I mean, maybe I don't remember who the Ranger.
Cryptic
I know
says white, baby. Cryptic says white.
You can't trust Cryptic. He's from overseas. He doesn't know nothing about Power Rangers. Don't let him lie to you. Also, good to see you, Cryptic.
It's right.
Nick, thank you. We will try to keep up the hard work. Appreciate you guys all tuning in, hanging out with us. All I know is the original TV series, Red was the main character. I can't remember the movie. Cryptic says, bruh. But nonetheless, can you just type in who was the main Power Ranger? Wait, or what color?
Tommy Oliver, White Ranger, baby. That's what Google says. So it says who was the leader, and then says,
I said what color was the main Power Ranger? Red. This says red as soon as I.
What?
It says I typed in what color was the main Power Ranger. The first result on Google says red. Mostly red is symbolized as the team lead color in the Power Rangers. Red Rangers in all series are mainly dedicated as the leader of the squad. So
Right,
maybe
right,
he
right.
was the
But
main
remember,
in
but
the
remember I
movie
said,
only.
remember I said, remember I typed in, so I typed in the movie. I typed in Mighty Morphin Power
No,
Rangers.
we weren't.
Leader.
We said who was the main of the Power Rangers, not who was the main of this one movie. We didn't say who was the main of the 1995 Power Rangers movie. We were talking about who is the main Power Ranger in all. Red. Thank you. Good night. Derek out.